Hello, if you can hear me, say scary face. And that way I will know you're not smiling at me. And that way everyone can hear me, hopefully. Scary face, alright, good. Mean look. Mean look is also acceptable. Alright, so today is day 18. I already forget. Day 18 possibly of the Final Fantasy IV translation comparison. Yesterday we had tried to do the stream, but Twitch's weather was doing poorly, so we called it off, and so we moved it to today. I'm not sure if tomorrow I'll do a stream or not. I guess we'll find out at the end of the stream, and we'll see how it goes. Today, we're mostly going to cover the Tower of Zot. That's basically the main thing. There's stuff before and after that we'll need to do. And if we finish early, I don't know what exactly we'll do. Maybe we'll fly around the world, see if there's any new text. Probably not a whole lot. Then we'll just play it by ear. But there's a lot to go through, actually. So let me get started on that. All right. All right, so first, man, I already forget everything I have ready. The other day, I showed off like the first coverage I could find in my Japanese magazines of Final Fantasy IV. This is the second magazine that I have, and this is like this is the magazine Marukatsu Super Famicom, and you can see that it says FF4 in big red letters right on the front. And so I think with this issue, it was like the big like FF4 issue that everyone was supposed to sell 1 million copies. So this came with a 100-page like booklet, bonus booklet, covering the game in super detail. Unfortunately, I don't have that. I don't have that big old booklet. Those tend to get sold separately from the actual magazines, and so you kind of just have to hunt and peck for those. But there is some stuff in there, and this is actually the issue where the reviewers they review the game. So let's look at that review. All right, I have to make this kind of big so I can see this too. And unfortunately, I can't point at things. But on the screen right now is the review page of Final Fantasy IV. It also includes a couple other reviews on this page. Then there's other reviews on a few other pages. But let's see. This was from like July of '91 for reference. All right. So besides FF4, there's some Kido Senshi Gundam F91. I got 6667. We have the Ganbare Goemon, which I think is the one that we got, right? As Mystical Ninja. It got 7887. That's a pretty good score. That's actually a pretty good game, too. There's also Battle Dodgeball. I got 7777. Super R-Type got 8866. Juju Densetsu, which I'm not familiar with. I think we probably got it localized as something else. Got 5576. And we got the Japanese version of Samurai Pizza Cats, I think. It got 5787. And then in comparison to all that, FF4 got 9888. So it's like the highest scoring of all of these. All right. So you're probably curious to know what they were thinking, right? So let me look at those. I'm not going to like translate them all. I'm just going to like paraphrase them. But okay, so there's 4 reviewers, just like in a lot of magazines back in the day. There's 4 reviewers for each game. Okay, so this first reviewer is saying that the 9 that they're giving it is actually kind of like on the conservative side because they're a series fan already. So they're kind of holding back. And they say that they can definitely feel that there's like, they're really using the Super Famicom quite well, like the new technology and stuff. But they're kind of upset that the story is so forceful and pushy. The story's development is that you never really feel like you're playing a character. Or you're not playing a role because this is supposed to be a role-playing game. And so that's sort of their complaint. It's like the story is just too pushy. I don't get to play my own role. I guess the previous games were more like that. You kind of just wander around. All right. They say that they would like to participate more by having a role in the game. That's how they truly feel. So that's the 9. All right, let's look at the next reviewer. The next reviewer says the sound is just absolutely amazing. This is like, we expect no less from the Super Famicom. and the effects and the the direction of everything, like the cutscenes, you can tell that they did a good job with that. But the story events, they're just, again, they're so pushy and always like pushing you forward and like dragging you along. You don't really feel like you're the main character anymore of this drama. Although they do like the story, they say. And this person gave it an 8. We have another 8 that came from someone who's saying that the it feels like the feel of the game is no different from the previous ones. And so nothing really stands out as like what's so great about it being on Super Famicom. Although it does do a lot of stuff, it admits. It does do a lot of stuff, but nothing really stands out as like Super Famicom's the next level kind of feeling. So, yeah, it still feels very much like a Final Fantasy game as a result. But they said that like it would be, this is a lot better this way than if they had tried to go crazy with something new fitting for the new technology, the new Super Famicom. As I recall, FF4, when it was being first developed, or at some point, split off and eventually became Secret of Mana and or eventually Chrono Trigger. I think they were trying to do the active time battle thing, and they're trying to make it just more actiony. I forget how that all went. I wrote so many articles about that back in the day, like 10, 15 years ago, about that development stuff. Anyway, so I think that's what they might be saying, that like they're glad that they just kind of stuck to the FF formula. So this gave it an 8. And this one, this last 8, says it's like very well done and very stable, but it sounds like they've only played the beginning part of the game. It says like from the beginning portions that I've played, there seems to be like a real strong emphasis on the story, like the story's like development, story's movement, and the active time battle, which is like a big selling point of this new game. It does say that it's like it is indeed cutting edge, but it became difficult to, or just like kind of clunky, like hard to remember how to do things. Like, who are you giving orders to? What are you telling them to do? Stuff like that. I guess as the other stuff was going on. So we got all these different different viewpoints, but I don't know how much they actually played through the game at this point. From this one, it just sounds like they only played the beginning part. I guess it doesn't really change at all. It's a pretty strong story, right? All the way through. So anyway, that's the score. It was a 9888, the highest score of that. Okay. The next section I would like to talk about is, let me just bring them up. You can see there's the 4 Fiends of Elements on the screen, plus the Kalkobrenna doll monster. And these all have names. They're all named references to an actual old story, like some actual old poetry written in the 1400s in Italian. All right, so I have to bring this up. We're basically just going to look through Wikipedia. All right, let me get this going. I have to do some stuff here. All right, so all of these things are kind of references to something called the Divine Comedy. I guess I'll just read it. I'll just read what Wikipedia says here. So like Scarmiglione and Cagnazzo and Rubicante and all the rest, they're named after characters in the Divine Comedy. And so we're going to look at what the Divine Comedy is right now. Right. The Divine Comedy is an epic poem written by, oh, by the way, this is all Italian words and stuff. I'm going to get these Italian names and pronunciations wrong. Please forgive me. It is an epic poem written by Dante Alighieri. It is about a trip through the afterlife. The poem has 3 parts: Inferno, Hell, Purgatory, and Paradiso, Paradise or Heaven. The Divine Comedy is a piece of world literature. It's like from the 1400s, so it's like really old, and I'm not sure. This might be one of the works that kind of made it feel like biblical hell is full of fire, right? I don't think technically it was always that way. I think these stories sort of promoted that, or changed the view of how things look. Yeah, if I had to explain, I think like if I had to explain it very poorly, I would say that like these poems, they're kind of like what's a good way to put it? Like Smash Brothers, where it's just kind of like a bunch of different things all smushed together. So you have like Greek and Roman stuff, you have Christian stuff, you have like contemporary Italian political stuff. Then I think the character is like the author, and all kinds of weird stuff is going on. So it's pretty dense, whatever it is, however you want to explain it. Okay, so Inferno is the most famous section of the poem. So it's like the first part. The poem is about the travels of a man through Christian hell, purgatory, and heaven. Note that comedy does not mean funny here, but rather it has a positive ending. All right. And so then there's like the different levels of hell. I won't read through these, but there's like all kinds of stuff. Different hells have like different punishments and things, and different hells are meant for different people. So like fraud is the 8th circle of hell, and pimps, seducers, flatterers, and sorcerers and stuff. Corrupt politicians, they go there. They have to do the opposite of what they did in life. So fortune tellers who tried to see things ahead of time are forced to walk backwards. That kind of stuff. Okay. So this is these names that we're about to see from the 4 Fiends of Elements. They come from Inferno, the Divine Comedy. All right. So we'll look at that now. Here we go. All right. Specifically, wait a minute, wrong button. Specifically, these 4 fiends, they're like referred to as the Malebranche or something like that. There's a whole bunch of them. There's a kind of like bunch of demons and monsters in these different versions of hell. And only some of them show up in FF4. So like we already met Mylon, so that was where the Scarmiglione down here, if you can see it, I don't know. Possibly meant troublemaker or disheveled. Let's see, what else do we got? Rubicante is the fire guy that you see over there in FF4. Possibly red-faced terror, and a reference to Conte de Gabriele. So this is like, I don't know. We're getting into the crazy old-time literature stuff here, but these are where these FF4 names are coming from. What else do we got? We have Calcabrina, which is that big doll that we see over there. That seems to be called the Grace Stomper or the Frost Trampler. Cagnazo or Kainazo means nasty dog, and that's the watery looking guy over there. The water turtle. Barbaricia, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, means curly beard. And I guess it kind of fits because, well, it's a woman in FF4, but she has long hair, so we got, some hair stuff going on. Anyway, so these names come from this old Italian literature from like centuries and centuries ago. And I can show you this now just kind of casually because I have Wikipedia and I have the internet. But think about back in 1991 when it was just like some lady who happened to know some English and had maybe like a dictionary or two to help her. There's no way that she would have known that these were like old Italian words, old Italian names. And even today, we still don't fully know their meanings. And they didn't have the internet. They didn't have Wikipedia. They didn't have that kind of stuff. So we got like weird names like Mylon and whatever. But then J2E comes around about 10 years later. The internet exists. And fans start to discover, oh, these are references to this old literature. So fans eventually like start, in the J2E patch, we're going to see that their names are correct, although originally these names were not correct. And this is kind of how it is. Like the internet has really changed how translation works. Like we can look up references so easily now, just type it into Google. Before you would have to actually own like a set of encyclopedias in multiple languages to be able to do what we are doing here. So all these references were probably lost on a lot of people back in the day. Nowadays, if you play enough Japanese video games, you'll see that these names, Scarmiglione and Rubicante and all that, they get reused a lot in Japanese entertainment and Japanese games. So, like last month, I was playing one of the Castlevania games. I think it was Portrait of Ruin, maybe. And these names just appear there. They're like, you'll find these names everywhere. And that's just how Japanese entertainment is. They like to take names from like every culture they can find and just use them in their own different ways. That's just how it is. So like all those summons like Ifrit and Shiva and stuff, those are from, you know, other cultures, but they're not used as they were intended originally. Japanese is weird that way, but I guess that's maybe just how it all is. All right, we actually have another literary reference to look at later in the game when we get to the Delta Sisters, the Delta Attack Sisters. We'll look at some stuff there, but I want to get going to the game, so let's get going. Hopefully I explained all that well enough. I felt like it was probably time to talk about that. All right. Aria of Sorrow. Also, Barnabas was probably in there too? Okay. There might be some other things in there. Alright. We are 45 minutes in, or 45 hours. 45 hours into this game. After I beat this game doing this way, I want to see what is like the fastest someone can, how many times can you beat the game in the same amount of time it took me to do this one playthrough. So if it takes me 99 hours, I want someone to try to beat the game as many times as possible in 99 hours. That'll be the modern desert bus. Alright, so we just got that crystal, the earth crystal. Now we're gonna go in here. I don't know how different everything is. We've already talked to all these people, we've talked to the frogs. J2E got marked off a lot on these frogs. Alright, but I'm going to talk to Edward if I can. Let me see what I can do with Edward here. Okay, story scene about to start. I just went to visit Edward. Now that we have the crystal, stuff is going to happen, I think? Yeah, okay. So now the party is now surrounding Edward's bed again in the exact same formation as last time. And even Tella took a while to walk up to Edward, so they probably just reused that animation code. Alright, looks like we have an easy type change in here. Let me look at that real quick before we get started. Alright. A simple change, we'll look at that in a second. So Gilbert says yatta yoda ne ... It means it appears that you've done it. Okay, Super NES, you did it. Well, I mean, he wasn't there to actually see it, but I guess he can just. Okay, J2E, the crystal ... You made it ... Okay, I guess that works. Kind of weird to say you made it. You did it would have been better. Naming way, you did it. Technically, there's a yo in there, so it seems that you did it. It appears that you did it. No big deal, though. Cecil says, Kirubato, kimi no okage da. That means, Gilbert, it was thanks to you. Super NES says, it's you, Edward. Like, I guess Cecil forgot. I'm gonna take off a point on Super NES there. That's just kind of funny. It made me laugh, so I want to give it an appropriate. All right. J2E. Gilbert, it's all thanks to you. Okay, that's correct. And then naming way? Yes, thanks to you. Okay, good. I mean, he technically should have said Gilbert in there, but that's fine. It's okay. It's more natural flowing that way. Alright, Gilbert says, Sonna koto ... And that's kind of meaning like, well, not really. That's not true. He's kind of like being like, I don't know, polite about it. He's saying, oh, I didn't do anything. It wasn't me. I became in Super NES well ... It's a little unclear what's going on there. I'm gonna take off a point on Super NES. J2E gets it by saying, no, not really. And it looks like Naming Way takes out that line from Gilbert, Edward also. Take off a point. A lot of points there. Alright. Then Looks like Sid has the final line in here. Demo naze katsu wa ano uta de. But why did that song verb him? And the verb is left unstated in Japanese. So why did that song verb him? It becomes, oh yeah, also this him, kyatsu, is a way to say he, she, that guy, but it's kind of non-standard. So they kind of fixed that in the easy type to just say yatsuwa. So kyatsu became yatsu. Alright. So the question here that Sid is asking is specifically about how did that song affect him? Like, what did that song do to that guy? So in Super NES is asking, but where did you learn that tune? And that's not what's being asked. So 500 is now Super NES. Negative 500 for Super NES. J2E. But why did that song affect him? Okay, correct. Naming way. But where did you learn that tune? Okay, it's the same. It's just a rewriting of the Super NES, as we can see in naming way. So I'll take off a point there. Edward now looks at Yang for some reason. Looks like we have another easy type change here. There's a lot of easy type changes around this part of the game for some reason. Alright. Gilbert says, Izen ginyu shijin toshite horo shite takoro ... In the past, sometime in the past when I would wander around as a bard, ginyu shijin is like a troubadour or a minstrel. Like they kind of go around, like they wander around and they do their songs and poetry and stuff. That's how that feels. So we just squished that all down into bard, but there's more to it maybe than just bard. When I used to wander around, horo is like wandering. Yeah, when I used to wander around as a bard. Okay, let's look at that first part. When I was wandering about as a bard in Super NES. Okay. J2E. While wandering as a bard. Okay. Naming way. As in my travels as a bard. Okay. ... Ashiki yose o imashimeru uta toyu no o kita koto ga atte. ... I heard that there was a song, or that there were songs that could, was that imashimeru, like punish, admonish. Okay. I heard that there was a song, or that there were songs that could admonish evil fairies, or fae, I guess you could say. Yosei is the actual word. Yosei is fairy, sprite, or elf. So I heard that such things existed. Could like imashimeru is to admonish, to warn, to remonstrate, to prohibit, to forbid, to be cautious, to punish, or to bind. As we also see down there. So let's say bind. I think bind is probably good. Alright. Also, while I'm here, this ashiki doesn't show up on this dictionary thing of mine because it's kind of a fancy old word. And they changed that fancy old word to a standard modern word in the easy type. To warui. Ashiki became warui. That's kind of like changing wicked to evil, or like vile to bad. It's something easier. Alright. Super NES. When I was wandering about as a bard, I heard the tune to bind evil fairies. I think he said that he heard about such things, not that he heard literally just the song. I'll leave it. I'll say it's okay though. J2E. While wandering as a bard, I learned songs that warded off evil fairies and spirits. So they kind of expanded yosei to mean not just fairies, but spirits too. That's probably okay. Fairy, sprite, or elf. Kind of that kind of feeling. Alright. Naming way. In my travels as a bard, I heard it could harm evil elves. feel like this could be improved on naming way. I don't want to get too into the details on this, but I'm going to say that these are pretty okay. Harm does work. I like bind is probably closer to what is better, is what was probably intended. Warded off is also kind of in there too. We need to talk to, who do we call? We're going to call Sakurai. He'll answer. And J2E just had some formatting changes. Alright. Sore de moshiya to omotte ... And so I figured maybe I could try it. That's kind of how that feels. He had heard about such things, and so he figured, why shouldn't I just try it myself? So that line is missing in Super NES. Take off a point. J2E. I thought that song might work. It did. This "it did" probably shouldn't necessarily need to be in there, but it's okay. Alright, naming way loses that line, so I was losing that point. Okay, Yang now speaks. Okage de taskarimashita. Kind of a fun way of saying that. Thanks to you, we were saved. It's interesting. It's kind of like a non-standard kind of, yeah, like a warrior, disciplined warrior style of saying it maybe. It makes me think of like old samurai times, old kung fu monks. Alright. Super NES, you saved us all, Prince Edward. We can see he doesn't actually say Prince Edward in Japanese, but I would have liked Yang's little speaking style to speak through the translation, but it's okay. And J2E, and because of that, you saved us. That's closer to the original, yeah. Naming way seems to copy from Super NES by saying, you saved us, Prince Edward. That's fine. Gilbert then says, Sonna ... Boku nanka ... So he's saying, so he's doing that polite thing where you don't take credit for things. Basically, he's saying, don't be silly. I did nothing. I didn't do anything. ... That's how that feels. He's like, it's very common in Japanese culture to act that way, but he's just saying, he's like denying the credit. Alright. So in Super NES that becomes no ... not really ... ouch. Okay. It all works in there. But here he's saying specifically like I didn't do nothing. I'm nothing. He's like he's like very putting himself down a lot in Japanese. And you kind of see that by specifically saying boku nanka. Would have liked him to mention that in Super NES, but that's okay. J2E. No ... it wasn't me ... ugh. That's fine. That's good. Naming way. No ... I didn't ... ugh. Okay. They all get it pretty okay. Alright, Cecil. So for some reason the music stops and Cecil shouts, Girubato! And everyone does that one right, so. Okay, Cecil gets pushed downward, and now Tella stands next to Edward. He rushes Tella rushes to Edward's side, basically. And then Gilbert says, Terra-san, ... More easy type changes here. Oh, okay. This is a big scene right now for Edward. Alright. So first let's start with this first line. Gilbert says Tella, Mr. Tella, Tella-san. Okay, Super NES says Master Tella, that's good. J2E, Master Tella, okay, good. Oh, I can't wait. We're going to be meeting Golbez today. I can't wait to see what the J2E does with all that Golbez stuff. And then naming way just says Tella. Would have liked that politeness in there on naming way, but I won't mark that off. Alright. So to this, Tella now has a lot of stuff to say. Anna mo shiawase jatta. Anna had happiness too. Anna was happy as well. お主のような勇敢な者に愛されたのだからな. She lived in happiness too because she had someone like you who is brave, who loved her. So she had happiness because she was loved by a brave person like you. Alright. So this is like finally Tella is like sealing the wounds that maybe had happened. He's like, yeah, all that sadness is now gonna be cleaned up right now, and then he'll just have Golbez left to deal with. So in Super NES, Anna was happy to be loved by a brave man like you. I'm really glad that everything gets through really well in the Super NES. Kind of impressed on that. What do we got? Let me give a good one on that. Good job, Super NES. I'll give you a point for getting all of that, so you're back to negative 500. Alright. J2E. I now know why Anna loved you. ... She must have been so happy. ... What are you doing, J2E? It is I who must ask your forgiveness. ... Alright. So okay, so this part, she must have been so happy. That part we'll say is Anna mo shiawase jatta. But the part about you being brave and being loved is missing. And it is I who must ask your forgiveness is not in the original text at all. So that was a J2E invention from the original patch. Naming way does a weird grammar thing here. I have to think about this. Anna was happily loved by a brave man like you. She was happily loved? What if this just became happy? Took out that IL and put a comma. Anna was happy, loved by a brave man like you. That would have been closer to the original. Happily loved, I don't know who's doing the verb anymore. She was happily loved, in which case the happiness is not Anna's, if we read it that way. Naming way is kind of weird here. I'm just gonna take off a point. For that, I'll give you, what do we got? Alright, looks like they were trying to rewrite the Super NES, but kind of messed up maybe. There's a good point, Sweet Glitch. Alright. Let me get to the next part all set up here. Okay, you know what changed in here? Oh, not for a while. So like this scene kind of sets the end for Edward's story. Like this is sort of like giving his happy ever after story. All right, here we go. All right, next line. Gilbert then says, "Tella-san again. Tella-san ... Mr. Tella." Super NES, Tella. You just said Master Tella before. This is I will admit, this is one of the weird things in Japanese entertainment writing that I don't like, because when you just will say someone's name ... It just feels so. I mean, this is from 1991. I'll give it a pass, but you can do better writing than that these days, I feel. All right. Okay, so Master Tella is what it says in J2E. And then that line was removed from naming way. I'll take off a point on naming way. All right. Okay, so Tella now says, "Ima wa sono mi o naosu koto dake o kangaeru no da." For now, think only of healing your body. And then you can kind of like phrase that into recuperating or getting better. Think only about recovering. You can do however you want, but literally means to heal your body, heal yourself. All right. What? Is everyone missing this part? Did I mess up? Okay, looks like Super NES doesn't have this in there. Yeah. Okay, Super NES does not have that line. Take off a point. J2E does not have this. Alright. Yeah, J2E does not have that line for some reason. What is this? And it's always missed that line. So here Tella is like come to terms with everything, and he's cool with Edward now, and he's now genuinely like encouraging Edward to be like, you need to take care of yourself, don't worry about it. It's kind of like a nice, thoughtful thing for this grumpy old hard-headed man to be saying. Alright, so Naming Way also misses it. So everyone just kind of failed there, unfortunately. Alright, let me get to the next part. Okay, this next part is Anna no kataki wa watashi no metio de kanarazu totte miseru. So, as for avenging Anna, I will absolutely do it. I will absolutely avenge Anna with my Medio. It's kind of a cool way he says it in Japanese, but I can't explain it very well. Super NES. I will avenge Anna with Medio. So this Miseru is like, he's gonna show this off. Totte Miseru. You can kind of skip over that with some grammar translations, but here he's saying to Edward, you need to just rest now, but don't you worry, I will avenge Anna with my Medio. So it's kind of like, don't you worry feeling, like, I got this, just you watch. It's kind of truncated in the Super NES translation with, I will avenge Anna with Medio. But I'll say that's fine. Okay, J2E. All I can do is avenge Anna's death with Medio. This all I can do doesn't feel right in J2E. I don't like that. I don't like that in J2E. Next part, Naming Way. I'll avenge her with Medio. Like the part about like without fail and do it and just you watch. I kind of would like these details to have been in there, but I'll say it's fine. Next part, let me move to the next line. And then he continues, Girubato ... Onushi no bun no na, and I'll avenge you too. I'll avenge your share too. Gilbert. So Super NES it was, I will avenge Anna with Medio. I'll take yours too. That doesn't make sense. I'll take yours too. What's actually happening is this Totte Miseru is Toru. It comes from Toru, which means to take. It's not showing up here, but means to take. So that's where this take comes from here. It would work if you say take revenge, I'll take revenge. But it doesn't work very well in grammar here, so I took off a point. And also it's not clear. Not as clear as it could be. J2E. And I will fight for you as well. Well, he's kind of just lumping us in to avenge Anna. I'll say it's fine. I'll fight for you as well. The idea is in there. Naming Way. I'll avenge her with Medio for both of us. It's interesting what this means. This implies that they are both going to get a vengeance. But what I feel is he's actually saying, Tell is actually probably saying, I'm going to avenge Anna, but I'm also going to do this for you too. Because of everything that's happened to you. That's how that feels. So this line is a little strange to me. It stands out as weird. What's a good one? But I'll leave it as it is. I'll leave it as it is. This is why I would like to sit down with like the original writers and just be like, okay, what did you actually mean underneath these words here? sometimes in my professional work, I would get to send translation questions to the writers, but I would have to go through like a million intermediaries, and it always sucked. And it was never fun. It was usually too slow to ever do. All right, let me continue. Gilbert says, ... arigatou gozaimasu. That's ... thank you. Like the full phrase for thank you. It becomes just no ... dots in there, just thank you and Super NES. J2E, thank you ... And Edward says, naming way, thank you ... Okay, we're getting... Alright, so Cecil now says, Girubato, kimi wa ... Yuki aru otoko da ... exclamation. That means, Gilbert, you are a man of bravery. You are a man with courage. You're a man of courage, something like that. And exclamation at the end. This is like slow compassion with a strong emphatic like enthusiasm at the end. I don't know how to he's cheering him on. It's like it's kind of common to see that kind of writing in handwritten scripts. And when I would do my professional works, you'd see it written that way. Alright, Super NES kind of botches the delivery, but it's all in there. You really are brave, Edward. J2E, Gilbert, you are a brave man. That's closer to the delivery. Naming way, you've become brave, Edward. I would like that to be more cheerful and like energetic. Took off a teeny point there. So remember, the whole point of everything so far is that Edward is weak and scared and cowardly. Like, even in battle, he is this way. And that's why all this time he's been very hesitant and always down-putting himself. And he always has these ... dots, even though he's in bed too. He's always kind of just like, I don't know, kind of self-dejecting. Self-dejective, is that even a phrase? But there was a time earlier in the game when Anna's ghost says, you need to be brave. And Edward says, brave, but I don't know how. And this is how. And Cecil has just granted him those words. And now Gilbert says, Anna, ... nantonaku wakata kiga suru yo, ... That means, Anna, I think I understand now. ... I think I managed to understand now. I gotta get this all set up. Alright. Oops. Okay. Anna, I think I understand now. Okay, Super NES, that became, oh, Anna, I think I have come to understand what you were really trying to tell me, Anna. So they kind of added to the Super NES line. Like, they mentioned Anna twice. And they kind of spelled it out for us in case like the English player had forgotten all of that Anna scene before. How she was encouraging him to be brave and all that. We might have forgotten that because we're stupid kids in the 90s. So let's see. I think I've come to understand what you were really trying to tell me, Anna. This doesn't feel like the first draft writing. Like maybe this was a second draft from someone else. But it's all in there. I'm really glad to have it. Very good.
I miss you.
Alright, J2E. Anna, ... what you said. So here we go again. It's kind of like rephrasing it for us, recontextualizing it for us so that we remember that whole scene. Okay, Anna, what you said. Give your love to the people of this earth. I'm beginning to understand. Oh no. That's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. Okay. First, that line's not in there. So the whole point is she was telling him to be brave. Alright, so let's look at first. Alright, anyway, Anna, I think I understand what you were trying to tell me. Okay, that's good. It's basically what was in the Super NES, but Let's look at the easy type now. In the easy type, they do fill in the blanks a little bit. We can see that they added a new thing in here. And it says, Anna, ... Yuki te, ... Nantonaku wakata kiga suru yo. So Anna, that courage stuff you mentioned, I think I understand now. So it's re-referencing that whole part, the whole scene about courage, because Cecil just said that you are now a courageous man. You have courage, and that's why I was so like, why are you saying that, J2E? Because it's about the courage thing. It's not about give your love to the people of the earth. Yeah, looks like they didn't. It was always that way. All right. So this is Edward's like completion of his story. He does more in the story, but I really like how this turned out. Let's continue. Oh, that's right. Anna told her nothing basically in those scenes in Naming Way. Oh no. If you missed it, those scenes with Anna and Edward fighting the desert hag or the water hag or whatever, almost all of that text just became ... or just written out. So like his story is unfinished maybe in Naming Way. Alright, so now that cutscene has ended and we have control of Cecil again. Cecil is now available for control. We talk to Edward and in his bed he says, Boku no bun mo tanomu yo. So please, like, I ask you to do my share too, or like do things in my stead, like something like that. Whenever there's a boon is always kind of hard to translate sometimes. Boku no bun mo. Unless it's like with food. When it comes to food, it's easy. You can say helping, like helpings or servings. So please do my share too. I ask you to do my share too. Like, because I won't be there, do it for me too. There's good phrases for that in English, but none are coming to mind at the moment due to streameritis. Alright. Super NES, please avenge Anna for my sake too. So he's not necessarily about vengeance. Like, he's never asked for vengeance as far as I know. But in the English he does. He just says, do things in my case, in my stead. Alright. I'll say that's fine. J2E, please, for my sake too. That's a little weird. It's kind of like saying make up for my absence, like do stuff and make up for my absence. Naming Way, please avenge Anna for my sake. These are all kind of, the whole thing is weird. Let's leave. Alright. Now we're going to talk to the nurse who is the blonde-haired man. Oh, it's the same as before. Alright, that's the same as before. That's the same as before. Okay, now we have left that. We can go talk to the priestesses now. If we do this, if we talk to the priestesses, the story will continue. But I don't think there's any new text to be had. Okay, so what I think is going to happen is as soon as we walk up here, the cutscene is going to start. And Kain had told us to get the Earth Crystal, and then we'll exchange it for Rosa. At the same time, the priestesses said, you can have the crystal, we can lend it to you, but you have to bring it back to us first. So when we do bring it back, Kain his voice will boom from the heavens, and then he will whisk us away. So let's go. Alright. Cutscene has begun. Cecil walks into the center of the priestess's room. And the priestess, one of the priestesses, says, Sorewa, and that means that's. Super NES, that is it. Yeah, it says cleric or priestess. It could be plural or singular. We don't really know in Japanese because it's not always clear. That is it. It's Super NES, that's fine. J2E. That's dot dot dot, exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. We really like to exclaim in a naming way. Just says that's it, but doesn't give the clerics credit. Took off a point there. It's good if credit is being given to give it, to keep it. Okay, the 8 clerics have surrounded us. Is this why there's 8 of them? So they could do this? Alright, so looks like 3 separate lines are being said now in Japanese. Masashiku tsuchi no kristalu. Tori modoshite kureta no ne. Yatta! Alright, so that first line means that is indeed the earth crystal. That truly is the earth crystal. The second line, said by someone else, you recovered it for us. You've recovered it for us. You've taken it back. And then the third line is like, hooray, or you did it. Something like that. You probably, if you don't know Japanese, you probably have heard yatta. That's this line, yatta. How does this thing translate yatta? Hooray! Literally, I or we did it. We, hot dog. You, butte. Wacko. Yowzer. Whoopee. Yes. I don't think I've ever said wacko for this ever in my life. Were you butte? What the heck? Whoopee. Maybe. Whoopee feels like an older, like maybe from before I was born. That's, people would say that. Whoopee. Sometimes yatta appears at the end of a level in Super Mario Maker. Cool. I'm gonna turn on this light. I need a crystal light. Okay. So these 3 lines that we see here is clearly 3 different people talking, or at least 2. Like this first one could be 1, this could be 2nd, and this could be the first one again. There's 2 to 3, as we can surmise. And this is a common problem in older Square translations, is the translations will all just get compressed into one, so you don't know that there's multiple people talking. And you want, for delivery purposes, even though I guess they don't really care about delivery back then, you want to keep that stuff. Like I just mentioned, you want credit to remain as credited. The credit has been lost on the Super NES translation by saying, the Crystal of Earth, you got it back, great. Alright. Because this is a recurring problem, I'll give a mark off there. J2E. It's the Earth Crystal, you got it back, well done. They're on different lines, but it's not clear that they're different people speaking. And previously we have seen that they will do that in J2E by putting quotes around each one. Just as these are quotes here. These things are quotes. Where is it? There we go. Used to say well done instead of alright. Naming way just says, you retrieved the Earth Crystal. Like that is so generic, it could just be the line that appears when we got the Earth Crystal back in the magnetic cave. You wouldn't know that this is people speaking, much less 3 people. So first, 1, 2, for those 2 missing ones. Let's restore 1, but then take 1 off for the missing credit. Alright. Being picky, but I gotta be picky. These priestesses will attack me if I don't. Alright. Suddenly, a crazy, weird, dark sound appears, and the skies seem to darken. Or something happens. Another voice speaks. Kristaru o te ni ireta yo da na. It seems you've attained the crystal. Or it appears you've attained the crystal. And again, it has like a little quote mark here, but because it's separate, there's no other ones. We don't really need the credit necessarily. I would like them to put some kind of punctuation, but it's okay. Okay, Super NES. Looks like you've got the crystal, Cecil. ... Would have liked better phrasing on that, but it's okay. J2E. Looks like you have the crystal. ... I used to say it would appear you have the crystal. I would have closer would have been like it would appear you have obtained the crystal. Maybe a little closer. Naming way. So you have the crystal, Cecil. ... So it looks like it's just the Super NES kind of trimmed down a bit. And notice that Cecil's not technically in the Japanese text here at all. I won't mark off, but it's just a change. All right. The priestesses are looking around confused. Then we have some new text. Sid says, Kono koe wa. This voice, it's... That's how that goes. And then Cecil goes, Kain. And so we can see how it is, the Japanese has like the first half of a sentence, Kono koe wa, and then Cecil finishes it by saying Kain. So this voice, it's Kain. That's how that goes. Okay, Easy Type just has a space added. I need to come up with a sound effect every time there's a space. Alright. So Sid and Cecil are doing like a double tech there. But in Super NES, that just becomes Sid goes ... Kain. So Cecil's line goes away, and the first line is missing, so 2 points off there. J2E, that voice, Kain. Okay, correct. Naming Way does the same thing that Super NES does, so I'll take off 2 points. Okay, next part. Kain now says, Omote ni dete, hikute ni nore, ... So go outside and board your airship. Rosa no ibasho made tsurete ite yaro. I will take you to where Rosa is. And then it's kind of rude. There's a rudeness to it. That yaru is does it show up in here? It's like when you do something or give something to an inferior or an animal. That yaru. Instead of ageru, it becomes yaru. So surete ite yaro. I will take you there. But that like that inferioritiness of it probably will fall out of the translations unless someone reinflates it. Alright. That becomes in Super NES. Go outside and get on your airship. I'll take you, I can't speak English either. I'll take you to where Rosa is. Alright, yeah, so like I said, the nuances are falling out of the translation there. J2E, go outside and get on your airship. ... I'll take you to Rosa. No, it says I'll take you to where Rosa is. We don't get taken straight to Rosa. It's minor, I'm gonna take that off. Yeah, I'll just restore it. I'll be a nice guy. I'm not gonna be anti-Golbez right now. Naming Way. Go outside and board your airship. I'll take you to where Rosa is. Alright. All good instructions. This is slightly gameplay instructions. Like, yeah, like, why can't we just take Cecil and them to the top of the tower, you know? I guess maybe that's the whole reason of that weird blade / wrecking ball that's hanging above her. Right? Is it like a time delay device and Golbez is toying with us or something possibly? I don't really know. Alright. The sky has re-lit up. The priestesses have walked away, but they will have new text, so let's talk to these priestesses. They look like Tetris pieces. We'll speak to the left Tetris piece first. Whew. Okay, I need a drink of water. We're about to do a bunch of talking. Okay, this first priestess says, Nanika jijo ga aru you desu ne. It would appear that you have certain circumstances or something, like it appeared that you have circumstances. Tsuchi no kristaru wa yakusoku dori okashi itashimasu. So, quite polite, like, not even just quiet, like really polite, using some pretty up there KEIGO. Okay. Easy Type changes that first line to Nanika wake ga aru you desu ne. It would seem that you have certain reasons. You have certain... What was it good? Oh yeah, I can do that here. Wake. Wake is like reason, cause, meaning, circumstances, situation. Okay. So that means it would seem you have certain circumstances. As promised, we shall lend you the Earth Crystal. Alright, so Super NES leaves that first line out about you have circumstances of your own, it seems. But it says, the second line, it says, we will lend you our Crystal of Earth as we promised you. Okay, that's in there. J2E. It looks like you're in a tight spot. As promised, we will lend you the Crystal of Earth. At least it's referring to our situation. Like, we have certain situations that I guess we didn't divulge ahead of time. Maybe we should have told them that we were going to have Kain coming after us. It's kind of bad on Cecil's part. I would have liked this to be better. It doesn't really feel as good as it could be. Tight spot. As promised, okay, so it's all in there. Naming way. As promised, you may borrow the Earth Crystal. Okay, mark off on that. Same as the Super NES, didn't have that first line. Okay, next priestess. Kristaru wa okashi itaso. Kuregure mo yojin shite na. Alright, saying, we shall lend you the crystal. Do take extra care though, something like that. Yojin, like take care, take extra care, take precaution. Just be extra, like be on your guard. Just be on your guard. Super NES. Here's the crystal. Now, be careful. No, this person is not literally giving us the crystal right now. We have the crystal. So, Super NES, mark that off. I don't know what you were doing there. So, let's see. Here's the crystal. Now, be careful. Okay. J2E. We'll entrust you with the crystal. Okay, the grammar on that is a little weird. It's fine, but it could be better. It's like they're giving us to the crystals, and the crystal will take care of us. We'll entrust you with the crystal. Maybe we'll entrust to you the crystal would be good. Would be more clear, at least clearer. Take care of it. I don't like the tone on that. Take care of it, but I'll say it's fine. Naming way. Be careful with the crystal. Okay, didn't mention that. It's we're being entrusted or given it. Alright. This other priestess says, Nanda ima no koi wa. What was that voice just now? Or whose voice was that just now? Something like that. Nanda ima no koi wa. Super NES just says, what was that? Okay, I took off that because I'm not sure what that is referring to anymore. You filed down the text so far that like the details are now missing. J2E, what was that voice? Okay, that's fine. Naming way, what was that? Took off point there, just a rewrite of the Super NES there. Alright. The fourth priestess. Sekkaku modotte kita no ni. Just when you managed to get it back, or just when we managed to return to us. Shikata arimasen. It cannot be helped. Kasudake desu yo. We're only lending it, just so you know. Shikata arimasen can be translated many ways. The easy way, when you're in a rush and you don't have time to think, is it can't be helped. It literally means there's not a way of doing. There's not a way of doing. But it can't be helped. Keeps it in the negative tense, which is why a lot of translators will do that just as like the quick first pass. Or if you're just like in a rush, or if you're lazy. Super NES. We're only lending it to you. So the chagrin of the first line is missing, and the reluctant acceptance of the second line is missing on those two. So take off 2 points on Super NES. J2E. And we just got it back. I guess there's no choice. Just remember, we're only lending it to you. Oh, I'm liking this. Okay. I do like this change. It used to just say, we're just lending it to you. Just remember, we're only lending it to you is in there. It's hiding in under the words. I really like that they got that. I'm impressed by J2E. It regains a point and hits negative 420. What does that mean? I don't know. Let's find out. Alright. Naming way. We're only lending you the crystal. So that makes it sound like if we do the loophole thing I talk about sometimes, or like the crazy genie loopholes or legal loopholes, it makes it sound like they're only lending us a crystal. Maybe other things we were asking for other things, but nah. Anyway, those 2 lines are missing there, so marking off that. Naming way is toying with a negative 500. Alright, now we're on the right hand Tetris piece. Tetris priests. Oh, looks like there's an easy type change here. Nanika jijo ga arisou desu ne. It would seem you have some sort of circumstances. Chika no takara o tsukatte kudasai. Please use the treasure in the basement or underground. They made a bunch of changes here in the easy type. Let me read this. Yaku ni tatsu ka douka wa yaku ni tatsu ka douka wakarimasen ga chika no takara o motte itte kudasai. So I don't know if it will be of help or not, but please take the treasure in the basement with you. That's how that comes out in easy type. So I don't know why they would have changed this specifically. Right now, my instinct is to theorize that at some point during the game's development, they realized, hey, we're going to make an easy type version now with easier text. So we're going to need to start thinking about that. And that must have been around this point in the script or the game or development or something. And that's why we're getting so many heavy easy type changes here in the game. So whatever point this was being developed might coincide with that. I don't know if that makes sense. Alright, Super NES. Please use our treasure down in the basement. We would like it to be used for good. So yeah, okay. That second line, we would like it to be used for good, is not in the original text, so I took off a point. The part about it seems you have some sort of circumstances is missing, so I'll take off that. J2E. Please use the treasure in the basement. The part about the circumstances isn't intact. Naming way. Please use the treasure in the basement. We'd like it to be used for good. Okay, again, the first line about circumstances is missing, and that second line, we'd like it to be used for good, is not in the original text. So, naming way has just hit negative 500. What can we do? What do we got? Alright. Next priestess. Ima no koi wa ittai. Just what was that voice now? Just what was that voice just now? That became what's that in Super NES? Wow, that's pretty bad. J2E. What was that voice just now? Okay, J2E gets it. Naming way just says ... goodness gracious ... And that's not correct. I don't know where that would have come from. Alright. Second to last priestess says, Kristaru wa motsumono ni yotte sono chikara o kaemasu. So the crystals, or maybe just the crystal, I don't know. The crystal changes its power depending on who holds it. Jaku na mono ga moteba osoroshi mono ni. If an evil person holds it, it will become like dreadful. It will turn dreadful. Its power will become dreadful. Alright. So Super NES. Crystals increase the powers of the one who hold them. No, that's not true. It's saying that the crystals... crystals change the power of those... I don't know. I don't think this is true. I don't think it's correct on Super NES. If he is evil, then it will work for the evil. Okay, this is definitely first draft text. That's kind of wonky. It doesn't increase the powers. It just changes the power depending on who holds it. There's, what are some parallels in some of our own fiction? Something like that. I guess like the Jedi stuff, right? Or something else. It's like, I don't know much about Lord of the Rings. Does that work the same way? Yeah, I don't know if the underground crystals have elements either. Okay. J2E. The crystal's power changes depending on who it is that possesses it. Okay, this part seems correct. If an evil person has it, then it would have terrible repercussions. It's more like saying that if an evil person holds it, then the power will become evil. Not necessarily that there would be terrible consequences or anything. I mean, that's technically what would result, but I'm going to give J2E a pass on this one. Anyway, the crystals raise the power of their bearer. Okay, as we pointed out, that's wrong. If he's evil, the crystal will still submit to him. What? That's not true. Okay, so there's been a bunch of just like bashing that's happened on the scores here, so there we go. So the ring in Lord of the Rings is just pure evil? Oh yeah, okay. Is that the one that makes you turn invisible? Or is that separate? Alright, final priestess. Ittai nani ga okotta no? So just what in the world happened? It got a very feminine feeling to me. Ittai nani ga okotta no? Super NES. What in the world is happening? That's probably okay. J2E. What on capital E Earth just happened? What on Earth just happened? Used to be lowercase e. So I've mentioned it before, like especially when they do capital G God, you might be accidentally inserting our real life stuff into this fantasy world. Same with doing capital E Earth. Maybe it doesn't really matter in this one because we talk about Mars and Jupiter in Final Fantasy IV, which maybe suggests that this is our Earth. But again, if you're a translator, you want to be careful about inserting word Earth and God and stuff like that in there, especially with capitals. Alright. Naming way. What in the world's happening? I'll say these are all okay. The Triforce, yes. The Triforce is a good example. Where Ganon gets it and like his evil heart kind of causes the world to change and get weird. And like he gets the power of the Triforce. But then when Link gets it, everything is nice and good, I guess. Although Link is kind of crazy and he likes to break pots and slash grass everywhere. So when he gets the Triforce, what happens? Alright, so I just went into the crystal room. I'm going to put the crystal in here. Oh, it doesn't work. Oh, I never noticed that. Looks like a Stargate, the crystal thing. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So there's 14 things on this Stargate apparatus looking thing here. And it looks like they have unique symbols. I wonder what those symbols are. I wonder what they look like in like the 3D models maybe. Are these just like symbols on a microwave oven? Oh, they all reassembled in their old positions. I'm double checking everyone, make sure nothing new. Alright, I don't know if anyone says anything new. I'm only going to do a quick check on my way out. Alright, now we're going to go get those treasures that we were asked. Alright, I forget which one it is. I think it's this one, right? Okay, now we are now on the basement floor 1. And here's where that lady guard was telling us to like, hey, we gotta get permission. Alright. So, ここは地下牢だったが、今では宝物庫になっている. So this used to be an underground dungeon, but now it serves as our treasure, like, storage. Homotsu, how does it go? Homotsu, treasured item, Homotsu ko, yeah. That ko is like a, is it on here? Nah, it's not on there. It's like a storage room. Like if you've ever heard of Sokoban, that's the ko. Okay. Shinkan-sama no oyurushi ga aru no ka? Do you have the priestesses' permission? Now we actually do, so we'll say yes. I'll say yes now. Naraba homotsu o motte yukare yo. That means in that case, take the treasures and be on your way. So this lady, she speaks in such an unusual style in Japanese. It's really interesting. She has like an older style for an older weird way of saying to go. Yukare yo. It's really interesting. I don't know how to explain it very well. Just think of a funny way of saying go, take it and go, and take it and be forth, be off. Super NES. Okay, go ahead, take our treasures. It almost seems sarcastic or whatever, cynical. That's one of the things that I write about, like in my Undertale book, but also in that PDF that's on my site. You have to be careful with your wording in the translation because you might accidentally give off vibes or side effects with your phrasing that aren't intended in the original. And this is one where it could be read in an unintended way, possibly. Not by everyone, but you open it up to maybe like a percentage, so maybe like 5% of people could read it this way on their first try. Okay, but I'll say that's fine. J2E. Then take the treasure. Naming me. Okay, go on in. I would have liked it to say, take the treasure. Yeah, snarky, that's a good phrase for that. It could come off unintentionally snarky. Alright, now we are in the second floor basement, and there's a row of a whole bunch of treasures. This place makes Baron's treasury look like a joke. And then when we went to actual Baron's treasury, it was just like some potions and some junk that was passed down from generations. So what do we have here? We'll find out. The Minecraft room. Okay, this chest, oh, I just said that. After everything I said, now this potion, there's a high potion in this box. We have, oh yay, we have the Ban no Yaku. That is like the Omni heal, Omni medicine, you can kind of say. Cure all, panacea. The Ban no, I like that word, it's fun. All-purpose utility, almighty, omnipotent. And then the Yaku part there, Ban no Yaku, that's the suffix for medicine. So it's like the all-purpose medicine. Almighty medicine, omnipotent medicine. That's where the cure-all and panacea comes from. What I would like to do is if these are purchasable somewhere, I just want to buy these from now on, and I want to clear out my inventory. Alright. Super NES, that becomes heal. J2E becomes remedy, and naming way becomes remedy. Let's look at this real quick. See, when I open the chest and I get a new item, it pops up in this first slot. That's why I like to have this slot open. Then I can deal with it as I wish. Alright, Ban no Yaku. Looks like it maybe got an easy type change. Iro na joutai o kaifuku shimasu. It cures various ailments, conditions. Just a space change. Ooh. Super NES just calls it heal, and then it says heal conditions. But as I recall, this is like the only potion that there is for healing ailments, so that's fine. J2E, remedy cures all status ailments. It like super capitalized all. And it used to be called medicine. Naming way, it calls it remedy, cures all status effects except KO. I mean, Don't need that. You don't need to add that in there, but okay. Okay, remedies can be bought from the Dwarven Castle. Okay, we're almost there. Alright, we have an ether in this box. Also, in the different versions of the game, these boxes might have different treasures. We're just seeing the equivalence of what is in this version right now. Ether Dry in this one. We've looked at that before. Oh, we found the Gin no Dingo. We found the silver apple. I forget what it is, but there's some mythology around silver apples. I forget what it is at the moment. Anyway, this was dummied out in the easy type. No, maybe it is an easy type, I don't know. But at least in Super NES it's missing. So it's just, we found a dummy. We found dummy. It's a 50 plus 50 to max HP permanently. The thing is that's such a low number. Alright. Gin Ido no Dingo des. I don't know why they're giving us the des form here. But it says it's a a silver colored apple. So it's just colored. Yeah, you save it for Rydia when she gets back. Oh, okay. So it looks like this is maybe an easy type because they changed the description on it. It's not just a gold colored or a silver colored apple. It says Scalto HP ga fuemas. So when you use it, your HP will increase. It tells you exactly what it does instead of the original where it just says it's a silver colored apple. That's a dumb description to begin with, by the way. Whoever wrote that, so. Super NES is dummied out, so just the name is dummied and the description is dummied. J2E. Silver apple, add 52 HP max. Alright. And the naming way, silver apple increases max HP by 50. Now we have the Yamabikoso, and that's like the echo grass that does cures mute. Alright, I have some of that, I think. Oh, I don't? Wow. Alright. I swear we've looked at this before. There's probably just a space in there. No. Oh, it's dummied out in easy type. It's called the Echo Herb in J2E naming way. Alright, let me just move this over here. Wow. Get this over here. Alright, now we'll go to this next box. Kori no Ya. That's ice arrow. Did we just get one ice arrow? Oh, it's 10 ice arrows. Boo. I mean, I guess we're gonna go to a place where that will be helpful. Yeah, there's echo herbs and whisper weed. That's really interesting to know. They're like kind of the same feel. They kind of do the same thing. We have another Kori no Ya, another ice arrow. Does it stack automatically? It does, yay. Thank you, developers. And Ikazuchi no Ya, that's the thunder arrows, lightning arrows. Technically, let's see what it is. Ikazuchi is thunder. So it's called Lit, Lightning, and Thunder in the different versions. I think we encountered these before in some shop. Alright, now we have the Hono no Ya. That's like the fire or the flame arrows. And some more. We have the Great Bow. We already got the Great Bow before, so don't need to look at that. Yamabikoso, another Echo Herb. Elixir, we found a second elixir. An Ether Dry, an Ether, a Bannoyaku Remedy, and another High Potion. Okay, so we've cleared out their stuff. Yeah, so I think we noticed before that these Thunder Arrows, the description is wrong on J2E. It adds the description when it wasn't necessary to, and when it does so, it says 2 times damage to machines. But it's actually 4 times, and so we took off points already for that back in like day 4 or 5. Yeah, we only got 10 fire arrows. We used them up when we made the bomb ring. one of these days, I'll do PlayStation 1 translation, GBA translation, DS, PSP. I'll do those on the sidebar too, but it's just going to be like such a long time. Probably not for a year at least, because I want to do some more games. I want to do 5 again. Maybe we'll revisit 6. And maybe I want to revisit a couple other games, smaller games. Like I really want to do one for Mother 1. I can do Mother 1 really easily. And I can do it for Mother 3. For Mother 3, what I want to do actually is have the Spanish translation and the French translation and the Italian translations and stuff on the side. And that way I can read through them all, and it'll help speed up my learning process of those languages all at once. I can use my own work to speed up my own learning process. And that would be fun. And then we can see just how good the different translations came out. Also, I have a dream of all those Mother 3 translators. I would like to team up with them, and maybe we could work on localizing games ourselves, start our own localization studio, translation studio. Work alongside Fangamer or something. That'd be fun. That's kind of the dream, but I don't know. I'm not a business guy. I'm pretty dumb, as you can tell from my gameplay. Alright, we're about to begin. So as soon as I step onto this, a scene is going to begin. I would like to begin the scene, but I want to take a break real quick and go to the bathroom. I'll be back in a couple minutes. So I will give you guys some fun stuff to look at. Where do we got? Alright, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I am back. Getting my chair right. Alright, a bunch of little scenes are now going to happen as soon as I step onto this airship. Alright. We're getting onto the airship now. We no longer have control of the airship though. Alright, so first I want to pause it here. Kain's airship is coming up to our side. It's going to line up with us. Notice the airship. It looks like a red version of ours. Keep that in mind. Alright. Cutscene. And again, it's the two airships with a plank between them. Cecil on the right side and Kain on the left. Kain now walks forward and says, "Tsuchi no Kristaru wa That means like, where's the earth crystal? Or like, do you have the earth crystal? Where's the earth crystal? What of the earth crystal? Something like that. Super NES. Where's the crystal of earth? Alright. J2E. Where's the crystal of earth? Naming way? Where's the earth crystal? Oh man, I just remembered back in the ancient days of like, I don't know, almost 20 years ago when I was working on One Piece, there was this argument fans were having of, it should be king of the pirates or the pirate king. That of. People would argue about this of. I just had to do what was like, I was told to do, but people would argue about of like that. Alright. Let's see. Next line. Okay, Cecil walks way up onto the plank. Like if the plank fell, he would now die. This would be totally the way to kill him right now. And then you'd have the crystal. Golbez. How can I call Golbez on the phone right now? Alright, Cecil shouts, Koko ni aru, Rosa wa doko da? It's here. It's right here. Where's Rosa? He's very, very forceful. It's not normal for Cecil to ever be this forceful, but he is now. Okay. Super NES. It's here. Where's Rosa? J2E, what did you do here? What's going on here, J2E? J2E is missing those two lines from Cecil. 1, 2. I don't know what you're thinking. Alright, naming way. Here. Where's Rosa? Alright. Kain does his laugh again. We've seen him do this laugh before. Awateru na. Ore no hikute ni tsuite koi. That means, don't get flustered. Follow my airship. So his like signature like disdainful laugh or whatever, what is just his like little laugh. Again, like with One Piece, they would always sort of like not pay attention to the laughs whenever I would put the laughter stuff in there. You see that happening in all these translations too. Takeoff point on all for not having the laughter. Laughter is important for characterization and all kinds of stuff. Awateru na, that is also missing. Like don't get hasty. Don't get ahead of yourself. Awateru na. Don't be flustered. Don't be panicked. Don't be in a hurry. Don't rush. Alright, so that's missing. Ore no hikute ni tsuite koi. Follow my airship. And he's doing it with a cold delivery. We see these periods here. Kind of more forceful and superness. Follow my airship. J2E, kind of the colder, follow my airship. It used to say, don't get so uptight. Follow my airship. Oh, it used to be better. They used to kind of have that awateru na was in there. Although they didn't have the laugh in there. Alright. Kain says, naming way, follow our ship. And that's wrong. He's saying ore. Ore is I or me. So naming way, I'll mark off on that. Alright, Kain walks away onto his ship. Then we cut back to the overworld. But look, that red ship that looked like ours before is now a different airship. It's now the one that we end up getting later in the game. There's a mistake here. Game developers, for making that mistake, you get this. Also, we fly upward. Somebody tell me, where the heck is this Tower of Zot? Where is it? Is it like the Palace of Zeal, where it's just floating in the air? Where is it? Tell me where this tower is. It's in the sky? It would be nice to know. Is it like a satellite in space? That would be cool if it was a space satellite all along. Alright, so now we're inside this spooky looking mechanical place. Cecil walks out into the open and shouts, Kain! That means Kain. And Sid then says, Doko e kakureotta? And where are you hiding? Where did you go to hide? Kind of. Alright, that becomes in Super NES. Kain, where are you? Sid says, where are you? would have liked the delivery to be better on Sid there, but that's fine. Okay, I get recommended fire and ice. Alright. Alright, back to J2E. J2E says Kain, and Sid says, where are you hiding? That's pretty good, I like that. What do we got in J2E here? Oh, we're gonna start getting some good Golbez fun. Naming way. Kain. And Sid says, where are ya? I want this ya feels so strange, but I'll say it's fine. Like literally, like where are you hiding? Where did you go to hide? Where are you? We're hiding. All right, next line. Kain is nowhere to be seen, but he says, "So awateru na." ... Like, don't be in such a haste. Don't be so panicky. Don't be in such a rush. Golbez-sama kara hitokoto ore ga iitai sou da. So don't be in such a rush, Master Golbez. Or like he's saying, I hear that Master Golbez would like to offer you his thanks. Would like to offer some words of thanks. And so he's using Sama, which is like, so it's going to be like Master Golbez, probably in translation, or just politeness. Supernius, this becomes, do not hurry. Master Golbez wants to thank you personally. Okay. I guess that works. J2E, don't get so uptight. Lord Golbez wants to thank you personally. So it's technically hearsay here. Itai soda. It's like, I hear that Master Golbez wants to thank you, but it's not important. Naming way. No need to rush. Lord Golbez wants to thank you personally. Alright, we'll say that's fine. Then Tella shouts, Golbeza! And that means Golbez. Okay, so everything's good. Yeah, everything's good here. Now we get Golbez talking. Everyone do your Golbez ritual if you have one. Golbez is now speaking. And also Po has arrived, so I guess Po is Golbez. Yakusoku o mamotte moratte urashii kagiri da. ... I am utterly happy that you held up your side of the agreement. ... I could phrase that better if I gave it more time, but that's how that comes across. Supernius. I am glad that you kept your promise, period. He sounds so cool in Japanese. I wish it would convey here. It's not that nuances fall out, but it's okay. J2E. Uh-oh. Here we go. J2E's going crazy. Well. You've got the crystal. Alright. I see two sentences that weren't in the original. If there are changes and additions, it was always going to be that way in this J2E line. Also, that's not what he says. Okay. Naming way. You're a man of your words, Cecil. So he's saying that he's happy. Literally, Urashi and Kagiri is like an emphasizer on that. Like, is I have utmost happiness. I'm extremely happy that you kept your side of the agreement. It just becomes glad there. Nothing in J2E. Nothing in naming way. I'll take off on naming way there. Alright. Next part. Tella shouts, Sugata o mise! Show yourself. That's how that goes. Supernius, show yourself. J2E, show yourself. Tella and naming way, show yourself. Okay. Next, Golbez says, Hi Po, you made it for the...
Was that a 3? Everybody got it the same. Show yourself.
Oh, you want me to do that?
Yeah.
Alright. They all said, show yourself, and then Po popped in the room. It's weird. So she showed up right when Golbez showed up, so...
I'm Golbez, I remember.
I like your shirt. Alright, I like Golbez's shirt, you guys. Okay. Golbez responds, Hayaru kimochi mo wakaru ga, watashi no rei o uketotte hoshii. I understand your feelings of hastiness, why you're so impatient, but I want you to accept my gratitude or something like that. Accept my thanks. Okay. Super NES, be a bit more patient. I want you to receive the reward. This could be better. This could be quite a bit better, but I wouldn't say it's fine. He's telling us to not be rushing, and also that we're going to receive a thing, his gratitude. Alright, J2E. You'll find me soon enough. Nope. Alright, naming way. Please be patient. First, I have a reward for you. I want to say it means gratitude and not necessarily a reward. I mean, it could, but we'll see in a second. Right. Yang responds with re, that means reward or gratitude or thanks. So he's basically repeating what Golbez just said. This is super common in Japanese writing and just in general in speaking. You'll kind of repeat the word back, or sort of as like confirmation. It's just sort of the back and forth style of Japanese speaking. You might remember it from Metal Gear a lot. So let's see. In Super NES, Yang says reward, so he's repeating reward back, so that's fine. In J2E, Yang instead says, "Where are you?" That's not right. And then Naming Way says reward. Okay. Okay, Golbez continues. Watashi wa, so he's using watashi. He's not using like one of the other dozen potential pronouns. He's using watashi. It's like just like the standard not needing to be badass in any way feeling, kind of. Watashi wa kimi, so using like kind of equal speaking to us or downward speaking to us. Could be either. Watashi wa kimi no itoshii rosa to issho ni kono zoto no to no saijo kai ni iru. Bleh. Watashi wa kimi no itoshii rosa to issho ni kono zoto no to no saijo kai ni iru. So I am together with your beloved Rosa on the top floor of this Tower of Zot. Also, what does Zot come from, you guys? All I can keep thinking of is that Superman thing, like the Zod guy. In Japanese, it's common for the final T's and D's to kind of like overlap with each other, so this could be Zod technically as well. Alright, so I'm on the top floor of the Tower of Zot. That's basically what's going on. Super NES. I'm at the top of this tower with Rosa. Okay, so this place is not identified as the Tower of Zot. That detail would be nice to have in Super NES. I've marked it off. J2E. Also, it doesn't say with your beloved Rosa, so he's kind of like reveling in the evilness here. I'm going to take off another point there. J2E. I'm on the top floor of this tower with Rosa. So again, 2 points off. J2E falls in the same mistakes there. Naming way. I'm at the top of this tower with Rosa. Okay, 2 points off there. What the heck? There's a beating going on. So it could be the Sky Father from Albanian mythology. Okay, cool. Let me get this set up. Oh no, J2E, what are you doing? Alright, So he's gonna go on to say this. Kokomade tadoritsukereba, doza no inochi to kristaru o kokan shite yaro. So again, he's using sort of like the speaking down to us, like we're inferiors, like strong inferiors, like very inferior. So if you can make it this far, if you can make it up here, I shall exchange the crystal with Rosa's life. I will exchange Rosa's life for the crystal. For you inferior beings feeling. Alright, Super NES does an interesting phrasing here. Bring the crystal, and I'll return you the girl. So I'll return you the girl. Sounds almost like Darth Vader would speak. He would say something like that. I'll return you the girl. Alright. Okay, so it's a good way of summing all that up. Bring the crystal and I'll return you the girl. Kind of impressed by that on the Super NES's point. If you can make it up here, kind of gets summed up by bring the crystal. So giving them a point back on Super NES, and then you get that. J2E. As thanks for saving me an invasion, I'll exchange her for the Crystal of Earth. Okay, this invasion thing is not in there at all. J2E, you lose a point. Why did you do that? And it's saying come to the top. He's saying basically come up here, and if you can make it, I'll make off another point there. Oh no, J2E. Alright, we'll see their nonsense in a second. A naming way. Bring the crystal and I'll return her. So technically there's the loophole in here. You know how I talk about the legal loopholes, or like the evil genie doing his loopholes? Technically, in Super NES, J2E, in naming way, they never say that. He never says that he'll return her alive. Although he says specifically, I'll give you Rosa's life in return for the crystal. So he could, because he's evil, he could use that as a loophole right here if he wanted, using these translations. Luckily, he can't see through time and space into future translation. But I wanted to point that out. You want to try to tie up any loose ends with your translations. You don't want to leave open-ended loopholes like that. Alright. So Cecil shouts in response, Gorubeza, Kisama! And Kisama is, again, like one of the rudest ways you can say you in Japanese. So you could put swearing in there if you would like, if you think it's fitting. Different translators will handle that differently. You could just say like damn you, curse you, could work. Could be a couple other things. Okay, so Cecil shouting this is gone in Super NES, so there we go. Take that out. As response, everyone just say like the worst swear word that you know in chat. That would work here. J2E goes with Golbeza, you bastard. Yeah, so that works for Kisama. Fan translations do tend to hit pretty heavy when it comes to hard language. They'll go pretty strong. Like, this could have been even worse, but yeah. And Cecil's line is missing in naming way. Buster, you darn jerk, bully. He's a butt chungus. I don't think that would have made sense in Nainiwa. Alright. Continuing. Naturally, like his text is continuing, the music changed, which represents a tonal change in what is now being said. Right, let me get this all prepped. Golbez now says, after Cecil just calls him a bad word, Golbeza responds with Hayaku kono kereba kimi no daiji na rosa no inochi no hosho wa dekin ... Speaks in an interesting way in Japanese. Little non-standard there at the end. But it says if you don't come here quickly, I cannot guarantee the life of your precious Rosa, ... This decking, I would probably just do as cannot as one word. I cannot. It kind of conveys it roughly. Alright, Super NES. You had better hurry up or else I can't guarantee her life. I would put this comma here after else. I would probably put that after the up, personally. You had better hurry up or else I can't guarantee her life. And again, he's playing with the fact that Rosa is precious to Cecil. It's kind of missing in the Super NES here, but guarantee her life is the super most important thing. Second most important thing is you'd better hurry up. The important, the precious part is the least important here. Alright, so all good all over. J2E. Of course, ... New text box. Being the bad guy that I am, I can't guarantee that your precious Rosa will live. Okay, this breaking the fourth wall thing, being the bad guy that I am, I'm going to mark off J2E on that. Naming way. Best be quick though, I can't guarantee her life. Alright, like I said, that part about the being precious is like the least important part of this sentence. And they've left it off of naming way. He's never talked about how Rosa is precious to her though. I'll be nice on this one. I'll be nice. Sa nobotte koi. So he's like issuing the challenge. Now then, come up here. Or now then, climb up here. Something like that. Super NES, now come. Okay, that's good. J2E, better get up here. That's such a weak way of saying that. I'm taking out J2E. And that is missing from naming way. Move that off. Super NES wins on this one. Super NES, you did it. Good job. I'll give you, not a point, but I'll give you whatever this means. Okay. Not -1 for J2E? Alright, now we are able to walk around. If you're not familiar with this game, you can actually leave this tower. But first, let's look at these cool enemies. Alright, we have what looks like a weird basilisk looking thing. I think we might have seen them before. I don't remember. It's blue looking. It's got a bunch of horns and looks like a lizard thing. Looks like not a chameleon, but something like that. It's called the Burizu Dizado. It's like the Blizz lizard in Japanese. In the easy type, this became Kori Tokage. And that means ice lizard, just straight up ice lizard. Blizz lizard sounds so fun. Super NES follows the easy type. Again, we're starting to see that pattern with Ice Liz. If your name is Liz, then this is your character to follow. This is your Pokemon now, Ice Liz. J2E, Blizz Lizard, naming way, Ice Lizard. J2E handles it well here. Next, we have weird, they look like winged goblin gremlin things. I don't know. In Japanese, they're called Purakti. Purakti. I don't know what that is. Like Plakti? Prakti? It feels like it's a reference to something. This became, in Super Famicom, Koakuma. So like, little demon, little devil. Anyone know what Purakti is? This means? Alright. In Super NES, this became Gremlin. J2E became Prankster, and naming way it is Gremlin. Whatever the original one is, it sounds like maybe it's a D&D thing, maybe a folklore thing. Not really sure. Alright. How can we fight these guys? Can I just fight them easy? Okay, continue. Oh, I need to put the right things on me in here. Just gonna bio these guys. Tella is a walking biohazard. Uh-oh, we're getting confused. Uh-oh. Oh, that confused didn't work. Cecil, don't get confused. Okay, no one got confused. We're getting blizzards, though. Oh, we did get confused. Oh, crap, oh. Needed to get another bio. I was not told about this. Oh, they got hit, though. We're gonna do the Libra on ourselves. Tella is weak to nothing. And Sid attacks Cecil for 1. In the future, I'll remember to just do like fire on them or something. Alright, but we had some confusion fun in there. The enemies here start to give better experience, which is nice. I want to get some more high potions. I'm gonna leave this place. Get some high potions. Here's how you can leave if you didn't know. By the way, this place will look different if you play the FF2 Super NES. Like these glowing things, I don't think they glow right. Some of the chests in this place look different. Golbez is, as we leave, Golbez is like, where'd he go? I shouldn't have been such a jerk. And then Rosa is like, oh no. Okay, let's get some chests. Or I mean not chests, potions. Oh, please be high potions in here. Please be high potions in here. There's no high potions in here. I could go crazy and go like... Alright, I'm gonna go without the high potions. I can still fly? I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna go back up. Yeah, let's go straight back up. Alright, well I'm gonna go back down and use a cottage. Golbez is so confused. That one battle took a lot out of me. Yeah, it forces me to land, I think. I can check it out. I'll do a triple check. Okay, it takes off and goes up. Alright. I'm not pressing any buttons right now. Yeah, it lands on its own. Yeah, I could use a black chocobo. It'll be annoying. I don't want to waste people's time that badly. I have enough healing maybe. Alright. So then we have to go through the tower. We're gonna go through this tower for a bit. We have some bosses coming up. Alright, we have flame mail in here. Let's look at this flame mail. In Japanese, it's Furaimu Meiru. It's the English word flame and the English word mail. In easy type, this became Hono no Yoroi. So yeah, it's like flame armor, just the Japanese words for it. Right. Is this good to have? Let me put on Yang's weapons too. Fire and ice. What do I want for that? Do I want thunder in here? No, okay. Okay, let's put this mithril armor over here. Get that out of here. I can't fully remember the layout of this place, but I think I got what I need to hear. Okay. New enemies. Papuru Babaroa. And so that's purple. And I think Babaroa is that Bavaroy. It's that dessert, right? It's like I forget what language that is. Is that French or Italian? Something like that. Bavaroy. So they're kind of like a puddingish dessert, gelatinous dessert, and they're purple. Super NES, they just become slime. They become the Bavaroys and J2E. and Namingway. They were called P. Bavarois in old J2E. And I forget what the deal is with these ones. Like lately, or like so far, these guys are kind of color coded on how to kill them. Like the yellow ones are weak to lightning. I think blue ones or like white ones might be weak to blizzard, but I don't remember what purples are weak to. Maybe fire? Don't know. Let's just find out. They're also weak to fire? Okay, I guess that makes sense. We'll do a fire spell here. I think I have a fire thing in here, right? No, I don't. So reddish slimes are weak to fire, yellow are weak to lightning. Okay, just a fire 2 took them out pretty easily there. It's nice. I think someone got hit kind of hard. Wait, what is Tella? Tella's back there? Okay. Let's continue. I don't think there's any more chests in this room, right? Oops. Okay, we're on the second floor now. You might not notice it, but right here, this little like hanging archway, I think this was removed for easy type and or FF2 US. So that would be clear that you can walk through. Alright, got the first chance. We're fighting the Blizz Lizards again, and then we're fighting Herutatoru, so Hell Turtle. Hell Turtle is what these turtles are called, and there is no easy type equivalent. It's just Hell Turtle and easy type as well. Super NES, this becomes Carapace. That's just like an empty shell though, right? Or like the outer shell of something. J2E, Hell Turtle. In Namingway, Fell Turtle. I don't know, like Fell could technically work there, but Hell seems more correct to me. I don't know. Are these guys like fire elemental in some way? They're the only enemy in this dungeon weak to ice, so they must be Hell. I think Hell is the correct one here. Namingway might be failing there, but I'm not going to take off points because I'm a generous guy right now. Just going to bio these guys. And then have Yang. I guess Yang can kill any of them. And it looks like they have a counterattack. The Blizz Lizards are doing a blizzard on us. Ooh, yeah. Yang's claws were good there. So Yang's kick attacks drop any elemental properties. Okay, good to know. Oh, we're getting slowly stoned. And not in the way that you're thinking. So there's actually a weird issue with the slowly stoned status, and it shows up strangely on the sidebar here when it starts to kick in. And FF2 US kind of messes it up. But I don't have time to deal with that right now. I have to deal with these guys. I don't think eggs appear in this dungeon. They might though. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's later. Cecil leveled up. Cecil will now hit over 1,000 HP. Hooray, he finally did it at 47 hours. It took him, he's now age 47 and he's over 1,000 HP finally. Let's do... We're gonna need to start getting some ethers on him. What's his head? Alright, coming up is one of those chests that is like secretly a secret monsters or something, right? This place is confusing. I'm just gonna go over there right now. Oh no, we got back attacked. Like the Plactes, and the Kentaro Naito. So like Centaur Knight is what those will end up being. Okay, Kentaro Knight is how they call centaurs. Kentaro. So Kentaro Naito became Bajin Senshi. Bajin. I'm not really sure what Bajin is. Oh yeah, horse, person, warrior. So horse, person, warrior. I spell that out in easy type in case you don't know what centaurs are. In English, we like to do this C. C is the worst letter in ever invented. It can be a S sound or it could be a K sound. And it sucks so bad jumping between languages. But in Japanese, they go with the K sound. So Kentaros, I think is how they call it. So Centauros is how we would have said it. Anyway, centaur all down the way. Used to be centaur kuna in old J2E. Anyway, all those old mythology words, they have different like spellings and pronunciations depending on the language that you check. Like my name is Clyde. I don't want anyone ever to say slide. Luckily that L kind of helps. I need to put everyone in the back row here. Well, ActRaiser is definitely a game I want to do one of these things for. I've always meant to. One of these translation comparisons. I looked at the remake of ActRaiser and boy, it does not appeal to me in any way. Just have him guard, I guess. Having Cecil in the back is nice for like these. With my glitch happening, he doesn't need to get hit as hard. And then I would like to look at like the fan translations of ActRaiser. So like I have like a million games I could continue to do this with. This comparison stuff. I don't know if I'm getting all mixed up in their maze that they invented here. They made a crazy maze. It's less mazy in FF2 US. Okay, now we're fighting. We're fighting two puppets and like a weird creature with a stick and a bird for its head, a hat, I don't know. Anyway, the puppet is called a Marion. Looks like what they're gonna, this is coming from the word marionette maybe, Marion. That became Ito Ningyo, so like thread puppet, thread doll. Ito is thread and Ningyo is a doll or a puppet. And so that's how they did that in easy type. Super NES just calls it a puppet. J2E goes all the way and calls it marionette, adds the et in there, even though it's not technically in there. Used to say Marion in the old patch, and then puppet and naming way. Alright, then who is this other guy? Marioneta. So the marionetter is what he's called. So they're the Marions, and that's the marionetter. That became Ningyotsukai, so that's like the puppet wielder, puppet user, puppet master, I guess you could sometimes say. Super NES calls these guys the Marions, which is confusing as heck. It used to call this used to be marionette over here. So there's weird mistakes happening across all three names. I'm gonna mark off on those. What are you doing, guys? Alright. These guys are good to like grind against. The puppets will keep coming back as I recall, right? Oh, that was easy. But yeah, it might keep summoning the puppets back, and then you can keep killing them for more and more experience. Yeah, I'm very familiar with this upcoming chest. It's like a spook. It's like a jump scare if you're not ready for this. Okay, this chest here has monsters in it. Have we had monsters in a chest before in the game? I can't remember. Is this the first one? It is the first. Okay, here we go. Want to use ice on these guys, right? There is something weird about these guys, like specifically about this formation, I thought. Alright, just doing flame on us, Hono. That becomes fire, flame, and erupt. So technically it's Hono, which is like just the fire kanji, two on top of each other, and that means flame or blaze. It's not just fire. Fire would be like the fire spell that we just did. You know, we have fire. Super NES, I'll mark that off because we have a fire spell. Fire 1. J2E is flame. Naming Way says erupt. I'm just, because I gave one off on Super NES, I want to mark off on Naming Way there. Pretty strong, but I think Gain can take it out pretty easily. Yep. Alright. And in the chest we get the Flame Soldo, the flame sword. Let's check it. Well, first, flame sword in Japanese. In the easy type, this became the Hono no Ken. Yeah, so the sword of flame is basically the same. Becomes the fire sword in Super NES, the flame sword in J2E, and I guess the flame sword in Naming Way. Alright. Should I equip this? Is this worth equipping at the moment? I feel like it is. Like just for the 15 offense up. But I have to be careful not to use on fire guys, right? So we equipped it, we're moving on, but we got attacked by some more puppet guys. We'll just fight them. There's a good chance that we won't fight Golbez today. I mean, we will fight Golbez, but I don't think we'll maybe do the Elemental Fiend fight. Hard to say. Come on, Ying, kick that puppet. Punch that puppet. So if this is a satellite, possibly, in the sky, or something floating in the sky, I wonder how all these creatures got here. Or are they mechanical in some way? But whatever it is, I really like the change of scenery. It's suddenly a very different feeling game. Yeah, I would say at this point, I think we've definitely hit the halfway point on the game. I think the moment we got the Earth Crystal, the Dark Elf might mark the halfway point for me. Text-wise, maybe like we're past the halfway point, but game-wise, I think. Okay, we're on the 3rd floor now. I forget how to get all the chests in this zone. Do I just like go all the way around the long way? Or wait, maybe there aren't chests on this part. Alright, we got 2 of the Blizzlizzes and a spooky looking knight. I always thought these knights looked really cool and formidable. As I recall, they're pretty easy. Yeah, okay, so Chief Oluk makes a good point. Golbez controls monster on the surface. Makes sense, he keeps some for his personal guard. Let me look at at this enemy. This is the Buraku Naito. So it's the Black Knight. The English word black and the English word knight. As in, I guess it could be other kind of knight, but there's no easy type equivalent. In the Super NES, that became Swordman. I mean, there's been more sword-wielding guys before, so that's kind of a silly name. J2E, Black Kana. In naming way, BK Knight, so Burger King Knight. I mean, the Burger King probably would have knights fighting for him, right? These are the unofficial knights of Burger King. Where did Naming Way mess up so badly? Is all of just the cutout content for the most part. Sid has gained a level. At the beginning of the stream, if you missed it, we looked at a major Japanese magazine's initial review of Final Fantasy IV. It was kind of fun to look at that. I want to keep looking through all of my Japanese magazines, like in order, like chronologically, see how things developed. And then we looked at some of the Divine Comedy references that are behind the 4 elemental fiends' names in Japanese. Fighting two swordmans. Yeah, I don't remember how we got to -514 for Naming Way, but there was a lot of stuff that was missing. Alright, so we got 3 of those purple pudding guys, and then we have the Blizz Lizard. Blizz Lizard should be easy work for my flame sword. And then while I'm here, let's do the Fire 2 spell. Midnight Wonko points out that Yang gets 2+2 attack every level, and no other character gets that. Cecil has gained a level. Tilla has gained a level. Yeah, it's fun to see how different people will like abbreviate these names differently. Sometimes you'll get the wrong like side effects if you don't choose your abbreviation properly. Someone's pointing out Pegasus Knight in a game became Peg Knight, which is probably okay, but you can make jokes about that. And the Japanese developers probably didn't want you to make jokes about that. We're on the 4th floor now. This place has some splitting pathways here, as I recall. What I want to do, if possible, is go to the proper one first, and then save it, and then come back. So we're going to do that right now. Oh, we got some more enemies. A bunch of new enemies. Okay, so we have 2 blue flame-looking monsters. These are called, in Japanese, Brizu Bisto. That's like Blizz Beast is probably what they're going for, but it could mean Breeze Beast. You could read it either way if you wanted. But the Japanese easy type changes the name to Kori no Kemono. That means like a beast of ice, an ice beast. So Blizz Beast is probably intended. Super NES, that becomes Ice Beast. J2E, Ice Beast, and Naming Way becomes Ice Beast as one word. It used to be Breeze Beast, as we see in the old J2E patch, pointing out what I just pointed out. Breeze could be Breeze technically, or Blizz. It's weird for it to be Blizz, to be honest, I feel, but it's as they wanted it. Okay, the next, we're fighting a warrior woman with, I don't know, some armor and a sword and a shield. She's called a Lady Gada, so Lady Garter, like a guard lady kind of feeling. I imagine, and this might be what the Toroian warriors ladies look like, possibly. Alright. In the easy type, Amazones. So Amazones You know, like those female Amazon and warrior ladies, Amazones. So it's kind of funny that they still use foreign words for that. I guess these are from the Amazon. All right, Super NES, Epi Girl, and isn't Epi or however you pronounce that? That's like the type of sticking sword, like stabby sword in French fencing or something, right? All right, I think that's how that is. A rapier fencing sword, right? Yeah, I'm glad that I sort of know that. J2E, Lady Guard. So it's kind of close to the original. I think the idea is that she has the shield here, which gives the idea of guarding. I don't know. And then a naming way, Solderus, like a soldier with an S at the end, Solderus. Solderus. All right, all over the place. This is how it is with RPG enemy names. It's always going to be like all over the place usually, especially when you have limitations in the text box down here. All right, one more enemy, and it is a gender unclear character, but it looks like a sorcerer of some sort, with a little bit of leg showing and a green tunic and blonde hair. Let's see. Sosaru Lady. So like a sorcerer lady. Looks like they're combining the word sorcerer and the word lady together to make sorcerer lady. And then in the easy type, that just becomes Majo. And Majo is a witch, or technically like a magic woman. But witch is how it's usually translated, so that's a witch. We can see how the easy type has affected the Super NES translation because it's just called a witch in Super NES. Again, we're seeing those kinds of co-development of those two versions. J2E just becomes sorceress. Sorceress is already like a feminine, so we don't need to put lady in there. But it used to be called Sorcerer Lady, which was closer to the original. It's kind of clunky, maybe. Sorcerer Lady. And naming way follows the Super NES with witch. Right. Whatever is your favorite, please type it in the chat or in the YouTube, or text it to 1-800 sorcery. All right, so first let's take out these Blizz beasts. See if I can change this. Ooh, I can convert the sorcerer lady into a pig. They tried to do silence on me, but they could not. So there's like a lot of women up here. Are they connected to the town of Toroia, maybe? It's hard to say. It's like directly above us in Toroia. Alright. The Blizz beasts are gone. Let's see if we can change this lady guard into a pig as well. Nope. I've heard that the DS version of this game is meant to like prank regular longtime fans of the game by making weaknesses not what you think, or making like your expectations not what you think. But how does that convert to first-time players of the game, I wonder? I've barely played the DS version, so I don't know. Right, that was a fun fight. A lot of new stuff to look at there. Oh, Sid just hit 1000 HP. So 3 of the 4 people are in the 1000 club. So right now I'm going to do a save here and do a cottage, but I'm not going to do the boss yet. I'm going to go back and get those chests. Also, this save spot here, this whole room will look different if you play the FF2 Super NES. Maybe also the easy type. But the save spot here will look different too. So Amethyst Frost's friend played FF4 DS only and thought it was ridiculously hard. Going back to get those chests. Oh. Alright. We're gonna fight some more of these black knights and ladies. They're all like They're all just having a party up here in the Tower of Zot. Ooh, good critical attack on that Black Knight. Now, I can probably just spam attacks on these guys, these girls. Blade Lady, Blady. I like that one. Blady. So mostly just the boss fights are like trickier. As I recall, there's some weird thing with like a jar and you can put stuff in a jar. I don't know what that's about. And then like you can, they're like skills and you can change who has the jar. I remember getting that far and I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. That was like 20 years ago now. Oh, DS is so old now, isn't it? It's almost 20 years old. You got a cottage. Yeah, what was everyone's first FF4? Mine was 2 Super NES. I first rented it. Like it took me a while to decide to rent it because I was still playing 1. And so when I would rent a Super NES game, the one game that I rented before it was Bill Laimbeer's Combat Basketball. I remember playing that, taking that home and playing that and being so bored with it. I really liked the NBA at the time, and Bill Laimbeer was fun because of like how like crazy he was and at defense and stuff and physical. But that game was boring, and I rented that before I rented this. And to this day, it's like one of the weirdest choices that I could have made at the time. I think I can take this guy out before he summons his puppets. I've been thinking about it a lot, and every so often it changes, but I think my favorite FF game... Oh, we have a healing staff and another scape doll. I didn't know you could even get those. But I think my favorite FF is 6 for, I guess, Super NES Famicom. Probably just Super Famicom. Again, because it's like the original canvas, and you can appreciate what's happening on that original canvas the best. Sid has 666 HP. FF2 on SNES 9X, wow. Alright, we're doing these rooms. It's these extra rooms that always make me think that maybe here's where like the Lamia eggs are for some reason, but I don't think so. Not here. Alright, here in this chest we have the Jigoku no Tsume, and that means Hell Claw. Claw of Hell. Let me look at it and then we'll see. Alright, so the Jigoku no Tsume in Japanese in the easy type became the Doku no Tsume, which means Poison Claw. So, and then we see in the Super NES, well, clearly they weren't going to say hell in the Super NES version because Nintendo of America would not have allowed that. So it became Poison. And then we can see again that the easy type is paralleling the Super NES translation. J2E, Hell Claw, Claw of Hell, hit to poison enemy. And naming way calls it the Hell Claw. So it does do poison, which makes sense to call it the Poison Claw. This is a gameplay mechanic is probably more helpful too. Should I, if I want to use it instead of the Ice Claw? Alright, I'll do that. It increases his stuff a little bit. Just a little bit. No, it probably doesn't matter much. Poison is garbage in this game. Now we go further down in this room. So my intention is to play for about an hour or more, like an hour longer. Which means we'll probably get through the Delta attack stuff, and then we'll probably get through the Meteor stuff. But I don't know if we're going to be able to save Rosa in time. So it's like a double timer. She might die while we're not playing. Okay, the witch managed to get a spell off on us. So I'm not sure, but I think there's sprite palette swaps of these enemies, and it makes them male, right? Warlocks, possibly. Alright, we made it through that fight. Oh boy, I'm burning through my high potions here. I better not goof around too much more. Alright, this chest here, Flame Shield. Flame Shieldo. That's how that is. So the sorcerers will start just punching you if they're alone. Alright, so the Flame Shield and the easy type became probably the Hono no Tate, so it's just the equivalent word in Japanese. Became the Fire Shield in Super NES, the Flame Shield in J2E, and the Flame, I guess, Shield in Melee. Do I want to equip this? Alright. Resist ice? Well, I don't know who's gonna fight me. I guess it doesn't matter too much. Let's see. Defense doesn't change though, but at least it has an elemental something on it. Is there a game where you can throw shields? Oh, I guess Ghosts and Goblins. Oh, Spartanberry, yay. Alright, let's get out of here. My feeling is that this Tower of Zot music would be great as a wedding march theme. Again, just fighting some of our regular enemies here. Having a little bit of a hard time though. In FF14 and World of Warcraft, paladins can throw shields. Maybe I'm thinking of 14, but I don't really know 14. I don't know why I would know that. Oh. I have a question when we go out of battle, but we need to get out of battle first. Alright. Yang is hurt. Cecil gained a level? Yang gained a level. Alright. My question is, in FF2 US, is there still a cross on these shield icons? I can't remember off the top of my head. Because Nintendo didn't like religious iconography on things. Although they left it in Zelda 1. It's probably the same? Okay. Man, they were really not good at covering everything up. I'm getting out of here. These fights are getting kind of annoying. Like we already saw their attempts to like take away the words death and prayer and stuff. They already like slipped through the cracks into the FF2 Super NES, so why not just let it all through? I guess I could start using Cecil healing if I needed to. Yeah, crosses on shields probably didn't register on their anti-religious radar. The thing is that, like, when you think about what they were doing, they were they were erasing, like, important cultural icons. Like, I would think that people would be upset by that, if anything. They're removing these important symbols to our culture. Alright, now in this chest we have the Daichi no Hanma. That means the earth hammer, or like, it's literally the English word hammer, and then Daichi is earth, like the great earth. This became, it stayed the same in Japanese, easy type. Became the earth hammer, became the Gaia, in Super NES it became earth, and J2E became the Gaia hammer with an E in there, and namely it became the Gaia hammer with an I. Is this 2 times damage versus machines correct? Also, I really like that this hammer will do the quake spell for you if you let it. Let me equip that. Midnight Wonko's curious about the J2E thing, but I'm not sure what that thing is. Ah, okay. So there was a mistake on that 4 times damage. It said 2 times damage. All right, let me look. I gotta look at that again. Looks like J2E might have done some mistakes on this. So first, I think this does fire damage, apparently, right? All right, so J2E will mark off. Also, it doesn't mention that it will do the Quake spell, which is like super important. Do I need any healing? I'm good. Yeah, so these chests that we're getting in this tower, the chests will look different in FF2 US and possibly easy type. They will actually look like actual chests, not these whatever these things are. I'm getting out of here. I want to be able to do that boss fight, and I have some stuff to discuss about that boss fight, and then we have to do the Golbez getting defeated scene. Alright, here we have a Shisai no Dobu, and Shisai is like a priest, or like a religious ceremony guy person. Shisai, priest, minister, pastor. Yeah, pastor. And then it's a robe, the English word robe. Let me look at this. This is Shisai no Dobu became Madoshi no Dobu, and Madoshi is like the wizard, like the name for the wizard class. In FF1, it's the leveled up wizard class. Madoshi, so it's like the standard word for wizard in Final Fantasy IV, or just Final Fantasy series. So it became like the wizard robe. And again, we see that happening, paralleling with the Super NES translation of wizard. I don't even know if I had an icon there. Okay, J2E is the priest robe, which is correct. And it's the sage robe in naming way. Shisai I wouldn't call a sage technically. I'll say it's fine. Right, who do I want to have that? Put it on Tella, and then after he does the thing, give it to Rosa. Can I take it off of him in time? Do I get his equipment? Yeah, there's no way they were going to put Priest in there. Oh, I see. Okay. I see what you mean. Yeah, I'll have time to remove it from Tella. I keep getting surprised attacked. That'll teach me to go treasure hunting. It'd be fun to like try to remake this game somehow in different engines. Like I'm just thinking of like the Earthbound engine. You'd see these puppets running around. Like a Star Ocean 3 would be fun. Oh, I just want to run from these enemies now. He's hired too many monsters for his Tower of Zot. Tella died. He will never defeat Golbez now. What happens if I do that scene without Tella alive? Does he just pop back alive? Oops, not that one. Yeah, some games will like restore you to 1 HP after a battle. I don't remember if this one does it, but probably for the cutscene they probably thought it through. I did see that it's possible to like die to Zeramus at the end. Like you can beat him, but you can still die if you have like HP draining or something, right? I'm gonna do a save state here just in case. But I can't load save states because it will reset my scoreboard, and that sucked the other day. Alright, so now we're on our way to the Magus Sisters. There's a lot to talk about these Magus Sisters, so let's walk up here. Alright, so we're starting to walk to the top of the tower, but a walkway is being now suddenly blocked as some girls magically appear in front of us. The first magic girl says, "Yokoso Zotto no Toe." Welcome to the Tower of Zot! Exclamation. Remember how I was telling you about how fans would sometimes argue about the word "of"? This could be Zot's tower totally, but they all say Tower of Zot across all the translations. It's kind of neat. Welcome to the Tower of Zot, Super NES says. Welcome to the Tower of Zot with 2 T's, says J2E. Welcome to the Tower of Zot with 1 T, says Naming Way. Which is correct? I have no idea. There might not be a correct. Sometimes there just is no correct. You could ask the creator, but they might not even know. Alright. So just because those are all the same, it deserves this.
Yay!
Alright, next magic girl appears. Ohatsu ni ome ni kakaru. So speaking to us with very polite style in Japanese, quite what I would call a keigo, except not fully, because you would want the mas form in there probably. Ome ni kakarimasu. Basically it means this is the first time meeting you. So what's like a really polite way of saying this is the first time meeting you? It is a pleasure to meet you, or something like that. Something like that. Super Nia says, "Glad to see you." So she's literally saying this is the first time seeing you, meeting you. Would have liked this to be better. It doesn't feel like an introduction, but I'll say it's fine. J2E, pleased to make your acquaintance. Yes, that's probably a good politeness. In FF14 they went with 1 T. I'm Mr. T. I pity the fool who goes with 2 T's. Alright. Naming Way. So glad you could make it. No, that's not good. Alright. Because it pulls, Naming Way clearly seems to pull from the Super NES. I want to mark off the Super NES translation because it created a legacy of bad translations here. So glad you can make it is not what's being said. Third magic girl appears. And then we have a bunch of text happening here. Watashi tachi wa kono to o tsukasadoru shiten no kazi no barubarishia sama no kataude. I'm gonna have a hard time saying her name in Japanese. Barubarishia. Barubarishia. Okay. Looks like they're probably gonna change that kataude in easy type, I bet. Nope. Kept it the same. Kataude is like the right hand man of something. Literally one arm. You're one arm of them. Even though there's 3 of them, that's weird. Okay. So we are the right hand. We are the right hands of the elemental. Okay, let me try to do this properly. We are the arms of Mistress Barbaracia of Wind, who is one of the 4 heavenly kings who govern or rule this tower. It's kind of a big fancy phrase. I had to translate it backwards there. They simplify that a bit in an easy type, but it's still kind of fancy. So basically it's saying that we are like the right hand women, right hand girls of one of the elemental fiends. Super NES. We are the minions. Minions is kind of weird, but I guess that works. We are the minions of Valvalus of the Air. It's not said that they rule this tower, or that she rules the tower. Like Valvalus, Valvalus is in charge of this tower. And that's missing in Super NES. I'll take off a point here. J2E. We are the minions of the mistress of this tower, Barbaricia, the Empress of Wind. Alright, so I guess they're going with the Emperors, 4 Heavenly Emperors or something. And that's how they get the Empress of Wind. As I pointed this out before, at the beginning of the stream, but this Barbaricia is a reference to the Divine Comedy, which is like a set of poems from the 1400s, so like 600 years ago. And it's a reference to that. And in the old days of the early 90s, there wasn't the resources to recognize such references, much less how to write them in English. So this is where Valvalus comes from. In Japanese, V's and B's are kind of like, they can just be one or the other sometimes. And we also have the L and R thing with Japanese, so that's how we get the Valvalus and Barbaricia happening. But as we can see, even the J2E translators weren't familiar with that Divine Comedy reference at first. Someone had to come and tell them at some point. So sometime around the 99 or 2000 or 2001, someone at J2E realized, oh, this is a reference to an actual thing. So they changed from Valvalucia to Barbaricia. And as we saw, this is Italian for like the curly beard, which kind of makes sense with her hair. Right. I'm gonna say this is all good because it says that she runs the tower. Naming Way does some flipping with some text. So we'll just say, we're the servants of Barbaricia, Empress of Wind. It's not clear that she runs the tower, so I'm marking that off. All right. All good. We're good to move on, maybe. All right. So now we have 3 text boxes here, denoted by their different quotes. And we saw this problem earlier, and I marked things off for doing it improperly. We'll see. Yeah, let's see. I gotta get this all prepped because it's a long text. Uh-oh, a cat is entering my room and is gonna start screaming at me. I can't look her in the eye. I have to look at, uh-oh. All right. So the first one says, Megasu san shimai no dogu. Megasu san shimai no dogu. The next one says, Onajiku magu. And then the third one says, Watashi wa dagu. So the first, this is saying, they're called the Magus triplet, or the 3 Magus sisters. San is San. You probably know San is like the number 3. And Shimai is sisters. So we are the 3 Magus sisters. And then this one is saying that of the 3 Magus sisters, this one is named as Dogu. This next one says similarly, or like ditto. We could just say ditto, maybe. Onajiku is the same, Magu. And so that one's name is Magu. And then this third one says, as for me, Watashi wa dagu. And it's like, so Dogu, Magu, and Dagu. Let me get through this stuff, and then we'll see in a second. I am Sandy, says Super NES. I'm Cindy, and Mindy. We're the Magus Sisters. So the Magus Sisters mention is brought to the bottom. And they have changed the name from Sandy, Cindy, and Mindy. We'll look at that in a second. J2E. I am Dog of the 3 Magus Sisters. I am Mag of the same. I am Rag. All right. Then, naming way. I am Sandy. I'm Cindy. Call me Mindy. And then We're the Magus Sisters was brought to the top of this whole line. So it's not clear that there's 3 of them. Like, there could be more out there. It's not limited to the 3 because they take out the word 3 in all of these, except for the J2E. Now, what's with these names? I need to bring this up. So, the Dogu looks like the word dog, possibly, but it's probably not. Magu seems like the word mag, maybe. And Dagu could mean rug or rag. What are these names? It doesn't make sense, right? So for this, we have to go over to the info zone. So let's go to the info zone. All right, here we are. Hopefully you can still hear me. All right. So it seems that these names in Japanese are actually references to an old Japanese book written in the 1930s called DOGRA MAGRA. And it was written by Yumeno Kyusaku and published in 1935. It's considered a Japanese masterpiece of literature. It has surreal, weird stories about a psychiatric hospital. It has a bunch of overlapping stories, occult themes, and such. And the urban legends say that you'll go crazy if you read this. So just think about like how crazy occult stuff and psychiatric stuff was back 100 years ago in the 1930s, especially in like 1930s Japan. And so we can see in the name, Dogu is in there, Magu's in there, and then if we follow that pattern, we get the Dogu also. So this is what Japanese fans claim is the source. There was also a movie of DOGRA MAGRA that was released in the 1980s. You can see it looks pretty intense. It was released in 1987 and is classified as a horror/sci-fi film. And basically the story, as it starts, is the main character kills his bride on the day they're to be married, and then he goes insane. And then you have all the crazy overlapping stories and like what's real and what isn't at the psychiatric hospital. And if you're seeing the screen, you can see how kind of crazy it looks. It's like sort of the stuff that I would probably never care to watch myself. But there you go. It seems that these three characters in Final Fantasy IV are a reference to this, in addition to the Divine Comedy references that we see in the Four Fiends. All right, so there's that. And we can see that in English, Super NES, this became Sandy, Cindy, and Mindy. And now I'm not sure, but my brain, when I see these names, the first thing I think of is the Brady Bunch. And it's probably unrelated, but if the chat wants to chime in on this, please let me know. And we can see that Sandy, Cindy, and Mindy also exist in the naming right translation. And as far as I know, these names have always been Sandy, Cindy, and Mindy in all future professional official translations of FF4. But I do remember when I was writing articles about this about 15 years ago, that who gets attributed with what lines changes in different translations. So like which sprite is which line seems to change. And there's so many translations of FF4 that they kind of get like mixed up. Something weird happens with that. Also, while I'm here, did I not save it? Yeah, while I'm here, I'm gonna go through the extra work to show you guys. Let me do it. I have to go to my site first. So I have to download something. Hopefully you can hear me, and hopefully like the stream just didn't die. I wanna get this image for you guys. I should have had this prepped. All right, let me pull this in. Over here. So they're called the Magus Sisters. Even in Japanese, Magus. Except the official guide spells it this way. Usually the official guides have actually been quite good with the spellings of things. But we see here, it calls them the Magus Sisters, like M-E-G-A-T-H, sisters. And I don't know if this is intended or not, if this is correct or not. Magus seems correct. Magith seems incorrect to me, but it's hard to say. But I wanted to bring it up here just in case. And the reason this happens is we saw this before on a previous stream. In Japanese, the TH sound does not exist. Instead, it's usually compensated with the S sound. So maybe someone saw Magus and was like, okay, that should be a TH in there. Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe Magith was intended all along, and Magus is how it has to be spelled in Japanese. Whatever the case, we have these separate spellings. Like for all we know, maybe this Magith is also related to something in that book, in that movie that we were just looking at. For all I know, there's more to investigate. You know. All right. So that's what's going on with all of that. There's a lot going on in the chat right now. Unfortunately, I can't look at it. I have to get going. We have to do this fight, but we also have to look at all this. Okay. All right, next line. Okay, there's 3 lines again. Zanen da ga kokomade. Unfortunately, this is as far as you go. And there's like an unstated verb in there. It's unstated verb in Japanese. What's going on in there anyway? Okay. Look at that in a second. Okay. Unfortunately for you, or just like too bad, this is the end. That's how that goes. J2E, alright. Super NES, sorry, but your quest will be over here. That's how that comes about. We can't tell who's saying what anymore. That's too bad. I'm going to give Super NES a point off for kind of being weird here. J2E, we're sorry, but this is as far as you go. I would have liked so sorry in there. That would have been a little snappier. Naming way, sorry, but your quest is over. Like it's pulling from the Super NES here. And it's saying specifically that Cindy says this line, but we don't know that. We don't know that she says that. Take off that point. Okay. The next line is another sister, supposedly. Kristaru wa watashi ga itadaku. As for the crystal, we will take it. We will receive it. Kind of a polite way of saying it too, itadaku. There's kind of a little bit of snark in there. That line is missing in Super NES. Take off a point. J2E. We will take the crystal from you. I guess that's fine. It could be better. Naming way. Mindy. Okay, Mindy is quoted there, but it's not reflective of the original, so we don't really know. The crystal's ours. Okay, yeah, saying that we will take it. Should be better there. Okay, the third line. Wareda shimai no deruta ataku de rosa to owakare sa. Okay, so this got changed in easy type. Let me just read the easy type version. Well, I guess it's okay. So I'll read the original. So, with the Delta attack of we sisters, it is goodbye to Rosa. It's like say goodbye to Rosa. Thanks to our sister's Delta attack. It's kind of a fancy phrasing. It's hard for me to phrase it off the top of my head. We're basically saying say bye-bye to Rosa once you've verbed our Delta attack. That's how that goes. So the Delta attack by itself is probably confusing for easy type players. So they changed this to say, they took out the sisters part, and they said, Warera no hisatsu waza, deruta ataku de rosa to owakare sa. So this is, it's defining what Delta attack is by saying it's our special attack. Saying our special attack, Delta attack, our special move, Delta attack, will mean goodbye to Rosa for you. That's kind of how that goes. Super NES. Take our Delta attack and farewell. So it's not saying farewell to Rosa, because we're coming here for Rosa. All right, here we go. We will stop you from reaching Rosa with our Delta attack. So it's kind of like a snarky, with the saw especially in there. Where's that saw? Doesn't show up very well in there, but it's basically kind of being like cocky, saying say goodbye to Rosa. Is how that feels like. So just we will stop you from reaching Rosa is different from saying say goodbye. What did it used to be? Like I'm being picky here. I really like how the delivery flows in Japanese. So it's kind of like saying goodbye, like owakare sa, farewell. Say it's farewell to Rosa. I'm gonna take out the point of J2E there. All right, naming way gets a little closer. Taste our Delta attack and say farewell to Rosa. Okay, that's pretty good. I kind of like that naming way. You get everything in there pretty well. It kind of misses the sisters part, but that doesn't matter. All right, so I'll give you this. Eventually.
Excellent.
All right, fight time. All right, let me look at the characters. All right, so the front sister, the little short one, This is the Dagu. This is the rug. This is what became Mindy. And J2E calls it rag. So J2E is keeping with the original names, which, as we just saw, are most likely references to that 1935 Japanese book and or that 1987 Japanese movie. All right, so this is Mindy. This little one is Mindy. Mini. So think of mini, like minimum, Mindy. That's how, like, a mnemonic for that. The middle one, the larger one, is called Magu. And this became Cindy in Super NES, Mag and J2E, and Cindy in Naming Way. Again, this is probably a reference to that Japanese stuff. So Cindy, she's in the center. And then Ma is, I don't know. My brain power is falling away. And the tall one is called Dogu. And unfortunately, that looks like the word dog, so that became in J2E dog. And this became Sandy. So Sandy's the tall one. She sees all the sand when she stands up, I guess. All right. So the girls have their delta attack. They keep talking about a delta attack. And this is when they all do like a teamwork attack. And basically, we'll see in a second. But Dogu, as we just saw, is which one? Which one's Dogu? The tall one? And it says, Ane ja, iku wa yo. So that's like saying, like, big sis, let's go. Because I'm pointing at the character, the text doesn't appear. Unfortunately, I can't look at this one. I'll have to remember to look at these lines in battle. Aneja. Let me there we go. So part of the delta attack is to do the reflect spell. And then Magu says, Ima yo dagu, watashi ni maho. Now, Rog, cast magic on me. Okay, so that becomes, come on, Mindy. So that's the one in the front, speaking to the one in the front. Come on, Mindy. But it doesn't say, do the spell on me. I'm not going to mark it off because this text box is way too tiny. There's only so much text you could fit in there. This part about, it is saying, do the spell on me. Okay, J2E. Now Rag cast a spell on me. There we go, that's correct. And I was able to do that because the J2E people, they hacked in an extra line in that text box, so it can say more. It used to say, use your magic now, Rag. I wonder, oh well, it's closer to the original in this new patch. Okay, and then Naming Way copies Super NES by saying, come on, Mindy. All right. I'm gonna write this down. Thanks, Midnight Wonko. It's 46, 101, 102, 103. All right, that'll be helpful for later. All right, so the idea is that they're gonna do a spell that can't be reflected by reflecting it off of themselves. All right, so Dagu, Rog, the one in the front, says, Magu ne-san, hanikaishite. That means big sis Mag. Reflect this or bounce this. Super NES, this just becomes, here it goes. And this isn't, there's a pun involved. I'm sorry that I have to say this pun. This is not reflective of the original text, so I will mark this off here. Here it goes. There's not really saying what's going on. J2E, Mag, reflect it. Okay, good. The ne-san in here means big sis, elder sister. So in the Japanese, we can see their relationships, but that falls out in translation. In English, we tend to just say brother or sister, but in Japanese, you only have like big brother, big sister, little sister. You kind of don't have just flat sister. All right. And then Naming Way says, let's do this. I'll take off a point there too. And J2E used to say, Mag, rebound. Rebound. It didn't say rebound, it just said rebound. Makes it sound like they're playing basketball. All right, so here we go. All three of them now. It says Magus Sisters, the three Magus Sisters. Delta attack. So delta attack. This becomes in the Super NES, Magus 3, delta attack. J2E, Magus Sisters, delta attack. And then just Sisters, the naming way, Delta attack. No reason to mark anything off here. It's all clear what's happening. Okay, fight. Alright, now I actually have to do fighting. So what's the easy way to do this? I know you need to kill the middle one. For now, I'm gonna do just healing. I'm gonna have Tella on healing duty. I don't think this spell works on this, right? Okay, we're doing it again. Oh, I could have looked at it again. Uh-oh. So Yang has reflect on him now. It's gonna reflect onto the sisters. It's not too bad though. Ooh, that's a good healing spell too. Oops. Oh, that's fine. Alright, so the goal is to take out this middle one. Also, this middle one looks weird. Like, is that hair or glasses above her eyes there? Can't quite tell what I'm seeing on there. It's a bow. Curly hair from the hood? Okay. I guess it would make more sense if I looked at a CRT. What do I got here? We got anything good? I want to see if I got anything good that I can just have fun with. Didn't work. That's fine. Okay, I have to look at that again. I have to look at that. Unless she dies, it looks like there was a mistake in there on J2E's part. If I can get one more Delta attack from them, but she might be dead soon. Oh crap! I got virused or bioed. Alright, I'm gonna have my hand on the pause button when they try it again. Come on, do it again. Oh, I messed up. Alright. I'm pretty sure that there was a mistake on the J2E there. I'll look at it later. I have not backroad Sid. I wasn't aware that you could. I figured with hammers they were kind of already. I don't know. And then after I kill this one, the back one next, right? Oh, Sid can equip archery? For some reason I thought he couldn't. Sis, here I go. Okay. I saw it. Everything is good. All is good on that first line. Guys, I don't think we're gonna get the Medio today, I'm sorry. We might. It'll be fun. We can do all of those scenes tomorrow. That'll be fun. Yeah, I think I probably will end up streaming tomorrow too. I had to skip yesterday's stream because of Twitch frame drop problems. So I'm making up for it today. I usually like to take today off. Okay, the middle sister is now gone. Have to be careful not to target and pause, that's correct. Ooh, tried to do confuse on me. Your Delta attack failed you. That's all you got. Tella's gonna get on this bashing. I guess not. Yeah, and there's a save right out here, so it's probably nice. Be a nice stopping point. Okay. Doing bio on the big tall sister here. This is another boss battle that has a really good, like every boss battle in this game has some kind of special gimmick or trick to it. Like they put a lot of care into every boss fight in this game, and that's so good. I really like that compared to FF1. Coming off of that after like a couple weeks from FF1 coming to this, it's crazy. Yeah, the boss in the middle, she can bring the others back to life. So it's important to take her away. It's life 2 also, so that brings her back with a lot of HP, if not all HP. Strangely, this is a lot easier than I remember it. I think it's because of chat. Thank you, chat. Alright, 9,000 gil. It seems that Golbez, or maybe the wind fiend lady, she doesn't pay them very well, you guys. It's like 3,000 each. I can earn that in just a couple weeks. Sid has gained a level. Alright. The sisters, now that we're outside of battle, the 3 sisters now speak again. Bakana. That means kind of like impossible, or like this can't be, something like that. Bakana. In this case. Deruta ataku ga yabureru to wa. To think that the Delta attack could be defeated. And then the third one says, Anija. That means like big sis. Alright, what do we got? No way for Bakana. Okay. No way. Delta attack failed. No. Alright, so that Aneja is in there. That means big sis. It's like a unique way of saying big sis. Alright, so I took off a point on Super NES there. J2E. It can't be. New text box. You withstood our Delta attack. ... Sister, no. Would have liked it to be big sister, because they all look up to their big sister. Withstood isn't correct. Yabureru is to defeat, or to like break through something, to get something to be broken. Withstood is kind of weak. I'm gonna take that off. Wait, what did this used to say? You withstood. Oh wait, to think that you defeated our Delta attack is what it used to say. It used to say that. It used to say big sister also. Okay. Name J2E. What are you doing? Alright, naming. Cindy is marked for that. I don't know why. Alright, Cindy says, no way. Mindy says, the Delta attack failed. ... And then Sandy says, but how? But that's not true. It's big sis. Alright, then they disappear. They are dead. I assume they're dead, right? Never know in this game. Yang got poisoned. It's time to finally use one of our few healing thingies. They're gone for good. They're off the payroll. Alright, so what I plan to do here is I kind of promised that we would get to the Medio scene today. But for the sake of completion, I would like to save that for tomorrow. And tomorrow what we'll do is we'll do the scene where we walk in there, we meet Golbez and Kain and stuff. Golbez like zaps Cecil, and then Tella gets angry and then does that famous scene. Let me unequip. I'm gonna unequip Tella. I'm giving Tella my blessing to fight Golbez now, but not with my equipment. I invested in this equipment, Tella. Alright, so we'll do that. And then we'll end up saving Rosa, and then we'll have to fight the Wind Fiend lady. And then we'll go back to Baron, and we'll have that scene. After that, I don't know what happens next. There might be new stuff around towns, like different towns. But at the very least, we'll probably end up going back to Agart and doing a well scene. We'll do the well scene and go underground. After that, I don't know what will happen. But that's the plan. Use Silver Apple on Tella, he might survive this time. Alright. Midnight Wolf. What do we got? Yeah. Okay, I removed his stuff. Yeah, why does everyone want the secret code to save Eris, but nobody asks about the code to save Tella? Is Tella... I think in the end, Tella's the only one who really dies, isn't it? Like, Palom and Porum come back. Edward never dies. Rydia and Yang are survived. And then Yang, like, keeps sacrificing himself, but he keeps surviving. We'll just have to pour one out for Tella at the end of the game. He gets to visit Anna. He becomes one with the Great Spirit. Alright, so I guess that's going to be it for today. If you're curious, the current score is Supranius -528, J2E is at -440, and Naming Way is at -523. So it used to be kind of close when we were starting yesterday, or the day before, but Supranius and Naming Way have like zoomed further downward thanks to missing text. We have yet to do a lot of goal best stuff, so J2E is going to start ramping up its craziness again though. So who knows? Who will be the worst of the worst? Who knows? We'll find out next time on Final Fantasy Z. Okay. See you guys tomorrow. We're going to be doing a skin tomorrow, you guys, so see you tomorrow. Goodbye.